Hey, what's up, everybody? It is TB3 episode 17.
That's another big one.
We passed the Sweet 16. We're looking for 20 soon. We're getting there.
It's 17 again. I was trying to remember, is there any good things from 17?
It's like a Zac Efron movie, right?
Yeah, it's 17 again.
Yeah,
so that's a solid movie. Rest in peace to just blanked on his name, but guy from France, he was in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. He was the older version of Zac Efron.
Man, and when you guys get to the minute 38, it will be 17:38 for TB3. So there you go.
Wow.
Hey, it's getting emotional here. But yeah, we are back with another episode of TB3. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just at the top of the show, I just want to say, please make sure, if you guys are listening and enjoying these episodes, try to subscribe on the YouTube and follow on the Spotify, follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter. We're pumping out a bunch of content for all those platforms. So check us out there and, subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Yeah, just leave a comment. It could be random, juice the algo a little bit. Just give us something. We appreciate it. We would appreciate some feedback even if you disagree with us, we'd love to hear your takes on it, and maybe we can respond to it on the next show. But yeah, thank you again if you're listening right now, no matter where you are in the week. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving episode.
One of the best holidays that we celebrate. I know all of us TB3 boys are big Thanksgiving guys because we love food and we love football. I love Thanksgiving, man.
One other thing as far as the introduction goes, don't forget we have timestamps. If you want to find a certain thing, we usually announce it at the end of the show, and it's like they listen to the whole show to find out there was timestamps.
Yeah.
So the beginning of the show, we'll bring up the timestamps.
Yeah, if you're like a Monday, I gotta know about the Bucs, and Tuesday I want to know about the Gators, and Wednesday, I think I'm going Lightning.
Break it up a little bit.
Yeah, break it up, do that. We know we're going long, but we're trying to give you guys as much content as possible, and we're trying. And we got a lot of stuff to say. We got a lot of thoughts on our minds that we like to get out on this episode, these podcasts.
Yeah, and we're giving you like 3 hours of content at work.
Commercial free.
That's going to make the
If anybody
time
wants
fly.
commercials, let us know.
Dude, I was on
Beef O'Brady's.
I was on Instagram.
Come on, Beefs.
I was on Instagram the other day, and I was watching a meme, and then part of the meme put a commercial on the meme, and I almost fizzled out, dude. That was that. It was so funny though. It was like a crap post meme, and then it was just like a McDonald's ad in the middle of it. It was hilarious, but
Rome is falling.
Dude, Rome is falling. Yep, so we're going to get into it. Unfortunately, there was a lot of heartbreak this week for the Bay Area, but it's okay. We're still here to talk about it. And speaking of the Bay Area, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the other Bay Area across the country in San Francisco to face the 49ers.
Yeah, it was a battle of the Bays, East versus West. Who's the better team? The Bucs were headed to San Francisco to face the 49ers. They are 7-3. A lot of people are saying they could be a Super Bowl favorite. Still not so sure. I'm still riding with my Buccaneers. But anyways, we have to get to this game because it would start with the San Francisco 49ers getting the ball. They would go 5 plays and 14 yards, but after a sack by your captain, your leader, Lavonte David, the 49ers would punt the ball to the Buccaneers. What would they do on their opening drive? You may wonder. Well, they followed suit with just about every other game this year, and they would punt it away after only getting 3 yards and 3 plays. Then the 49ers kind of got a drive going, 12 plays, 80 yards down the field, and it would be capped off by Christian McCaffrey. Used to be an NFC South foe. Now we only see him once a year, maybe less. Hopefully. I hate the 49ers.
I'm so sick of this guy. Get him away from the Bucs, man. Every time he plays the Bucs, he just elevates his level of play to another level, and I hate it.
Yeah, at least with the Panthers, we'd still find a way to win, but unfortunately, it would not go the Bucs' way.
You guys remember, who did he break in London that was dirty, bro, against the Bucs? It was a couple years ago. Dude,
I would say Chris Conti.
I think it was him. I think it was
That's super mean,
dude,
but
all I remember was it was a London game. It was the old uniforms, and Christian McCaffrey absolutely momented someone in London. He was on the Bucs, and it was just that's the epitome of what Christian McCaffrey does against the Bucs. He's just unreal. I'm sick of it.
Yes, if it's Christian McCaffrey, I'm buying or if it's Chris Conte, I gotta treat myself something nice. If you're listening right now and you know the answer, comment under YouTube when this comes out, and I'll cash app you $5 or something. How about that?
He means it.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's a season of giving. It's a season of giving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
I'll tack on another 5. We'll make it 10.
$10. There you go.
Colby,
So,
will you make it 15?
Hey, man, why not?
look, if you're listening right now, you really have a good shot of getting this.
I mean,
you have a
it's
good shot of
Christmas
getting
time.
free $10.
We will, the first person to comment who Christian McCaffrey broke in London will get $15.
It's the season of giving.
Wow, this is
Jesus
awesome.
gave his life, so we'll give you $15.
There we go.
Yeah.
But you have to listen to the end of the episode, baby. Anyways, the Bucs, they get the ball back after the touchdown, down 7-0. They are driving a little bit, and around the 50-yard line, Baker Mayfield would scramble but get popped. Fred Warner, the linebacker for the 49ers, would pop the ball out, and the Bucs would turn it over. And the 49ers would get a field goal out of that. Thankfully, the Bucs were able to hold them there, not go down 14-0. But it still is a 2-score game. The Bucs, however, they start to feel themselves, and they start to get a little drive towards the end of the first half. In 10 plays and 75 yards down the field, it's 1st and goal at San Francisco's 1. Baker Mayfield looking, caught ball, Mike Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay, fire the cannons. Mike Evans on a slant route would give the Bucs a touchdown, and they were down 10-7. Could the Bucs get out of the half only down 3? No. The San Francisco 49ers would get a nice little drive going and kick a field goal, and to end the half, it is 13-7. But the Bucs get the ball back in the second half. They could take the lead here. Would they do it? We know how they are on opening drives in the first and second half. And yeah, it pretty much went the same way. It would be a punt right back to San Francisco, who kind of got ugly for a little bit there. If you were watching, a 76-yard touchdown pass from Brock Purdy to Brandon Ayuk. Jamel Dean was on the coverage. I don't know if he misread the ball, but he kind of leaps out, falls down. Ayuk's wide open, and he basically walks in.
And he hurts himself on the play.
And hurts himself. But he usually does that when he gives up a play. He kind of just gets hurt.
You got to keep your pride, man.
Yeah, you got to keep your pride. That's exactly right. So, yeah, it's 20-7. Could the Bucs do something? No, they would give the ball right back, and San Francisco would score a touchdown. Brock Purdy would find George Kittle at the Tampa Bay 3-yard line. He would scamper in. It's 27-7. It's not looking good, but we know the Bucs. Baker Mayfield leading that team. He's a warrior. He's not going to go down without a fight. This time, the Bucs on their next drive go 17 plays in 68 yards, and this was some crazy action, getting a 3rd and 10 conversion, a 4th and 5 conversion, and a 4th and 4 conversion, and they would get a touchdown from, let's see, who was it, guys? It was actually a run up the middle. Rashad White for 1 yard. It's 27-14. San Francisco would punt the ball. The Bucs have plenty of time to get it done, but after another long drive, they would get stopped at San Francisco's 12, and they would turn it over on downs.
This is where the game just got so frustrating. It is hard to watch, man. It was I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, my apologies too. I was there. The Bucs did get some conversions on their touchdown drive, a 3rd and 3, and a couple first downs there. The 4th and 4 they did not get. That was actually the last play. But San Francisco would punt the ball away and still give Tampa Bay a chance with about 4.5 minutes left in the game to get 2 scores. And the Bucs, after a huge punt return by Devin Tompkins to put them at the 10-yard line, Baker Mayfield would throw an interception after it gets tipped up, and that would just about do it. There was no time left to get 2 scores. The Bucs lose 27-14.
And by the way, I don't know if you guys are watching or not, but the play before the Baker Mayfield interception was a beautiful ball thrown to K. Dotton right to his hands, and it was dropped in the end zone. Could have been a complete game changer, and unfortunately, the next play we saw it come back. We saw it come back to bite us as the interception was deflected off a helmet, and the Bucs. Man, this was a frustrating game because, on the one hand, we go into this game, we know it's probably the toughest game on our schedule. It's a Super Bowl contender. at their place, and we know the Bucs have been struggling over the past month. And the Bucs really hung in there. This game, they lost by 13 points. That score was not indicative of how close this game was. It was a dogfight. The Bucs offense actually moved the ball really well all game. We'll get into that. But, I mean, on the one hand, you've got to be proud of the boys for fighting and doing what they can against a really tough team. But on the other hand, this is just kind of the story of our season where we have all the players, all the opportunities to win these games, and we're just not making these plays. It's because we easily could have won that game.
Yeah, I think you make a great point. Like we talked about last week, none of us predicted the Bucs to win. We kind of all expected them to lose, but one thing we wanted to see was could they stay competitive against a Super Bowl contender? Could they put themselves in positions to win? And they did, and that's what makes it even more frustrating because you know this team is capable of winning big games. They just can't seem to put it together.
I thought it'd be a bigger loss, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, like we did hang into this game longer than I thought. Like at halftime, we had a shot, so it's tough, but you know you keep going, you move on to next week, all that kind of stuff. Your cliches, but it's hard to look at this game knowing we could have won it.
And, you know, before we get into offense and defense, I got to say it again. Shout out Devin Tompkins. That was the best punt return the Bucs have had, like, in 20 years. It was amazing. It was great. No holdings, no things. Joel, I think Will's about to pull up some stats for you, but it was a great return. It was kind of the moment where I was starting to believe, man. I was like, we're getting punt returns now? Oh, we're making the comeback. We're doing this in the
Yes, it was actually 8 years ago, the longest since Bobby Rainey's punt return for 58 yards, 2015. So it has been a minute since we've had a big return.
Man.
Maybe next week we'll get the return for a touchdown.
I mean, Devin Tompkins has actually been steadily improving, and he's been a really good return man for the Bucs. And sometimes he gets involved in the offense, sometimes he's pretty quiet, but he's been involved in the kick return game, and he's been doing a great job. So, with that being said, shout out you, and shout out. I guess we'll bang out special teams. Jake Camarda had another really good game. He pinned the 49ers inside the 2 with an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous punt. And he did a good job flipping the field. So did the 49ers.
Thankfully, he's just a magician with his leg because Zion McCollum had no idea where that ball was going. So if that did not bounce out of bounds perfectly, probably would have been a touchback. So
yeah, true. And also, he caught a really low snap, picked it up, and punted it, which is like he's an athlete, man. He's doing it for the brand. So. Good special teams game for the Bucs, but I think we should move on. I think we should do offense first. You guys want to do offense?
Yeah.
Because this was a much better showing than the 14 points the Bucs put on the board. They really were able to consistently move the ball up and down the field. A couple really costly turnovers for Baker hurts us, and then the turnover on down really hurts. But I mean, this was about as good of a game, ball movement wise, as you could ask for against this vaunted defense.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating for me because there's some things I've seen that I did not like. One thing I'll talk about in the running game is a little bit, but Baker Mayfield, he went 29 of 45, 246 yards, a touchdown interception. And yeah, he played pretty decent. He played decent, but there's just a couple things that bothered me a little bit. Number one, he threw one interception, but he easily could have thrown 3. Mm-hmm. There was 2 passes. One of them was on third down. They really needed to convert there, and both of the picks were right in the defender's hands that were dropped. Like it wasn't like it was just bad throw, got tipped up or something. Like no, it was right in their hands, and I guess the 49ers have butterfingers, but yeah, so that bothered me. Another thing I didn't like, and I wish I would write stuff down when I see it, when I watch film, but I'm a little lazy. There was at least 2 times, and towards the end of the game, when they were in the 49ers red zone, is Baker Mayfield was a little too impatient with the ball. And what do I mean by that? I know maybe there might not be the reads there. Maybe they're covered. But I think he just got a little too aggressive. Like, I think to start the game, it's 3rd and 3. and you throw a 30-yard pass to, I think it was Raheem Jarrett. He did it again. And then in the red zone, it was 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. So you got 3 plays to get a first down, and you had enough room. I mean, that's like 6 plays right there that you could have had if you just would have checked it down or something. But he forces every ball into the end zone, and a couple times they were in double coverage. And I think even though that Cade Otton one should have been a touchdown, you look at the very next play, he shouldn't have thrown that ball. That was tipped up and intercepted. So I just think he's got to be a little more patient, especially when the Bucs get in 3rd and short situations. They need to capitalize, and it starts with Baker. You don't need to be a hero. You don't need a home run ball every time. Just get the first down and give yourself another 4 plays to get something done. That's my only critique.
Yeah, and another scenario of the hero ball was when he fumbled, because Baker Mayfield had all the protection. There was nothing downfield. He should have
exactly
thrown the
right.
ball away. But he's trying to run all the way across a vaunted defense, a defense full of people that have been, stars in this league for a long time. And, he ends up getting sandwiched by Nick Bosa, and then Fred Warner, punches it out. So, in that play, he was already, I think, outside of the pocket because of the nature of the play. Just throw the ball away, man. And I think it was 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10. You have to live to play another day. Because, speaking on this impatience, there really was no need for it. Because the Bucs offensive line pass protected exquisitely this game.
Very well.
Very well. Blitzes, not blitzes did not matter. A very good job of the running backs, the tight ends, every offensive lineman did a really good job of protecting, and there was no reason for Baker to be this impatient. So I agree with you, Will. I think this was one of Baker's weaker games, even though he made a lot of plays, but he definitely was a little too antsy with the ball.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up that one run, too, where he fumbles the ball, because not only was they had great protection, he ran back into the pass rush. He could have kept going outside or even thrown the ball away, you're out of the pocket, but he ran back in and put himself in a situation where he's going to get tackled and eventually fumbles the ball.
That's something you saw with Tom Brady last year too. It seems like these Buccaneers quarterbacks feel like they have to be the hero of the team. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's a lack in the running game or something like that. But they just feel like they have to make that play, and you hear it a lot, like do that extra thing, force that one thing, and then when it doesn't turn out well, we're sitting here and we're like, what's going on here? But again, I think it's just because they feel like they have to do it all. Like if they don't do it all, we're going to lose by 3 scores. So.
Yeah, well, I think you said it best. It's the running game has just not worked, and again, it just kind of. I guess we can segue unless you want to say anything more about Baker Mayfield.
Well, no, my next point. Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
Yeah, I just think with the run game, it looks a little better, but still, as a team total, 66 yards, that's just not going to get it done. So I think you're right, Joel. These quarterbacks are putting more pressure on themselves than they need to be because our run game has been so lackluster.
However, I do think Dave Canales did a great job calling this game. And I think this was one of the best. This was the Dave Canales I was promised. This was the offense I was promised. And what he did, you only see 66 yards rushing on the box score. That is true. However, Dave Canales used screens and quick passes and pop passes and stuff like that to be a extension of the running game, if you will. He threw. There was a 3rd down and 3 or 4 where he had Rachaad White split out wide, and he just threw a screen out there. You can't find the space with the offensive line, Rachaad White, get him out there and run. He threw a couple strict screens to Trey Palmer, which I love. Give him the ball in space. He's electric. He was able to find these short passing routes. There was a couple reverses in there for Devin Tompkins. It was a great game called by Dave Canales, and I think that was probably the biggest reason why we were able to move the ball. He had the 49ers defense on their heels, honestly. They were really not, they were misdirection. They were doing stuff like that, and it was a really good game called. So it stinks that we weren't able to cash in on the opportunities we had with these turnovers. But I think the way that Dave Canales used the short passes and the screen game as an extension of the run game is something I've been calling for since the Philadelphia game. I've been wanting to see, whether it's White or it's Tompkins or it's or Edmonds or it's Godwin, any of them, I want to see them get the ball in space. Get the ball out to your playmakers because you know the offensive line is a weak spot of your team. So I saw it this game, and I was really impressed at the game Dave Canales called.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think especially running the ball, one thing they did differently, and I think the offensive line as a whole has finally gotten comfortable with running a little bit of outside zone concepts, and I think that really helped with the play action because I think earlier in the year we've seen him have somebody in his face right away because they just can sniff it coming. But this time they were able to have success, and I guess I'm just a little surprised because I felt like there'd be more rushing yards. I'm actually looking at it for the first time, so I'm kind of surprised it's at 66. But one thing I did notice, and we've talked about this earlier too, is
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but only 18 carries for the Bucs.
That's
so they
true.
really weren't. I mean, they got 3.7 is not great per rush, but that's not bad. We've had worse games than that for sure.
Yeah,
so I think the reason why the yards are so low is because of those short passes. We weren't giving as many carries.
Yeah, like I said, it's not terrible. One thing though that we were talking about is the impact of Aaron Stinney being in there. And one thing I definitely noticed is that the Bucs consistently ran to the left side of the line. They ran to the left side a lot. So maybe it's the fact that Tristan Wirfs is finally 100% comfortable in his left tackle position now that he switched. But they were running to that side, and they were getting some big gains. So I really like to see that. And I'm hoping by the end of the year, the replacement of Matt Feeler is a success. And it's an improvement for the Bucs going down the road, especially might come down to a battle for a playoff spot, and you'd like to see that run game getting 100 yards per game. So I hope.
Yeah, I think Matt Feeler was healthy this week, and he still didn't play. I'm
believe
pretty
so.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so too. So that's full-time Aaron Stinney mode. That's great to hear.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think another thing that I really liked was Baker. He had a lot of pass attempts, but he was spreading the ball around as we had 5 pass catchers with 4 or more receptions, which was, it was impressive. You see Trey Palmer had 4 catches and 6 targets. He's getting more and more attention. I love it. He's electric. Chris Godwin had a really good second half. Raheem Jarrett had a big play, which is like the
41
first.
yards,
yeah,
man.
It was a big pass, and I think it's the first. He might have had like a catch in garbage time, but this is like the first time him and Baker have really connected, which is like we saw him in the preseason. I thought he was going to have a little bit more of an impact, but he had an impact in this game, so good for him. Kate Otten, other than that drop, good game. Mike Evans, solid game. They were really ragging on him, really like on him, playing double coverage, bracketing Mike Evans, so we had to spread the ball around. Rashad White, 6 receptions. Love it. Keep going. Keep giving him the ball in space. Multiple of these were converting first downs. So that's huge. And then that's it, I think. And yeah, that's your 5.
Payne Durham
had 2 catches.
him.
That's crazy.
Good for him.
Yeah, even him. They threw it to Chase Edmonds. So they were spreading the ball around. I think overall, if Dave Canales calls games like this, the Bucs are going to score a lot of points to end this season.
Yeah, that is ultimately the hope. And I think one thing, you're just going to see teams try to take away Mike Evans. He's one of the best receivers in the game. He is so dangerous because he can go up and get balls, and he can blow the top off of a defense. So you're going to see teams trying to double him and getting physical with him. So if you have people like Trey Palmer who can catch passes and Raheem Jarrett who showed up in this game, and I really appreciate that because then it hurts teams so much when it's like, are you going to take away this guy? We got 2 other guys out there on the field. We got 4 receivers at a time sometimes, So those guys can step up and make plays and grow trust with Baker Mayfield. It's going to be a lot harder for defenses moving forward.
It's nice having all Godwin on the field as well. I'm looking at it, and I'm impressed. Otten got as many yards as he did. He got 49 yards in this game.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Chris Godwin. All of those catches and yards were in the second half, which, the announcers would not shut up about, which was kind of crazy. But, yeah, Chris Godwin was the go-to guy in the second half. He I think, had 1 or 2 catches on 4th down and maybe 1 more
Yeah,
on
a lot
3rd
of them,
down.
I think probably all of them were for first downs.
Clutch catches for Chris Godwin. So, love to see that. He's he's one person where if the ball is in his hands, I know it's going down. He's got some of the best hands in the league. I love it because some of the other players on our team do not. But that's okay. I think we can mention this. I know this is probably either the second or third time the Bucs have lost a turnover battle, and that loomed large for them. We already kind of discussed them, so we don't have to go back into it. But the Bucs, we know this are very reliant on turnovers and winning that battle. It's one of the things they do best, and losing this in a game where you already needed a lot of things to go right was the kiss of death.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that was our issue last year is when the Bucs kind of started falling off. I think the Panthers game was like the biggest one, losing that one where we just could not get a turnover. And I think we didn't get one. I don't know how many weeks in a row we didn't get one, but I want to say it wasn't until like Munich when they played in Germany when they finally got a turnover. So, yeah, we can't go down that road again. And especially when you're playing a young quarterback like Brock Purdy. And again, you can say what you want about him. You can say he's good. You can say he's the next up-and-coming superstar.
Will's just mad because he called him out and Brock Purdy delivered.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It makes me mad because it's like, yeah, he had a great game. Tell me how many of those throws he makes if there's somebody covering the receiver. I mean, half the time they're just wide open. They're just standing in the middle of the field, so it's like, he should be making those plays. Like, any quarterback in the NFL should be making plays if the receiver's wide open or if you got Jamel Dean doing a Superman jump in the air and leaving Brandon Ayuk wide open. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, he made great passes to wide open guys. But still, what I said last week, you got to put pressure on them, and they struggled. They struggled mightily until towards the end of the game. But I think in the first half, and especially that third quarter, they just let him sit and have all the time in the world, be calm, cool, and collected. Just wait till somebody blew a coverage, usually the usual suspects, and you just throw to a wide-open guy. If it was Kittle, Debo was wide open on one, and Brandon Ayuk, nobody seemed to cover him. So I guess this is a good transition in the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, 420 yards allowed by the Buccaneers defense, 7.1 yards per play. You got to get that down. And unfortunately, we've said this before, but the Buccaneers defense really was untimely with their badness too, as they just allowed the 49ers to respond. That huge play to Ayuk in the third quarter was just brutal. After a Bucs got the ball to start the second half, weren't able to convert, you were hoping the Buccaneers defense would come out with a little fire and a little stop, but instead they gave up that big play, and it kind of, it forces the Bucs to have to be pass heavy for the rest of the game, being down 2 scores, which it stunk. That was bad. Is there anything that stuck out to you guys that was like really bad about this game?
Well, it was the same thing. I mean, you look back 2 weeks ago against Houston, and nobody could cover Tank Dell, nobody could cover Dalton Schultz, and then this week you get Brandon Ayuk, and don't get me wrong, he's a good receiver. Like, he's a good receiver in the NFL, but nobody could cover him. It started with Jamel Dean getting burnt. Then he gets out and gets injured. Like, almost the very next play,
they went right at McCollum. No, they
went
literally
right at McCollum.
They went right at McCollum,
and he's wide open
next
again.
Play. Yeah.
And then Carlton Davis was on him in the second half, wide open. And it's just like, what you guys got to do something. You got to do something. I know they've struggled with zone, but it's like if you're going man this much, you either have to start doubling their best receiver or just getting rid of man entirely, because this just cannot happen. You cannot be getting burnt. And I just think I want to say our O-line's the biggest problem, but I almost think it's the secondary.
At this point, I think it's the secondary.
I think it's the secondary.
I think it is too. Yeah, and I think another not secondary, but another coverage problem is Devin White again. I don't know. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan's really good at doing this, but they had George Kittle matched up with Devin White a lot. And a lot of times he was getting open. They ran that like bootleg play with George Kittle out the back door like 4 times, and George Kittle is wide open every single time. And I think it's because Devin White is out of place. And I mean, but even the times where Devin White is where he's supposed to be, he's getting burnt in coverage. So he really struggled. They were able to make it so Levante David was not the one covering Kittle, which is
but they
good
got
on the
caught
49ers.
a couple times. with Levante covering him.
Yeah.
Which I was going to get to in a minute here.
Yeah, I mean, it's both of them, but I'm just saying, like, Levante is much better in coverage, and I think Devin White ended up being covering Kettle a lot more, which stunk, and it was just like the Bucs definitely on the defensive side of the ball. Kyle Shanahan's offensive schemes were running circles around Todd Bowles' defensive schemes in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like the touchdown to Christian McCaffrey.
It was a nice play.
It was a nice play. You can't. If anybody's blaming Devin White for that, you honestly can't. If I were to blame anybody, I'd say the secondary on the other side, including whoever was out there at linebacker. You gotta know what.
Do you think any of those defensive linemen should chip him though? A little bit. You
probably just don't see him coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
but
I don't know if there's any way they could do him.
But he's probably going in a gap where the defensive lineman isn't in. But I just think if you're in man and you see that, you can't put your guy on an island. Like, the linebackers know the play. They know what Devin White's coverage is. So if you see that, you got to just switch over and get him because, I mean, that whole side of the defense totally got fooled, left Devin White on an island. But, yeah, I hate to bring this up, too. I just think I did not think Levante David played a great game. I really didn't, and I hate to say it because he's the leader. He's heart and soul, longest tenured Buck. But just watching film, overrunning, like I think what they got hurt in was those tosses, and he would overrun a bunch of them, like just completely overrun it, run into blocks. And then in pass coverage, yeah, he would get – the problem with him is, like, Devin White was getting burnt, but at least he's fast enough to make the play. Like, he can still come out and make a tackle or at least force them to have to make a move. But Levante David, I mean, he just doesn't have the speed anymore to keep up with somebody like C-Mac or Kittle. I think another thing, too, like they on Jay Camarda's punt, they force them deep in their own territory. And Levante David and Zion McCollum totally bite on the fake, and I think that was that left Kittle wide open to get
that was
like
one
a
of
24
those
game.
backdoor Kittle plays. They ran that play like 4 or 5 times, and it worked every single time. It was without fail. It's just a simple bootleg. Kittle goes out the back door. They throw it to Kittle. He's wide open, and he's a good tight end. He's going to make 10 yards out of that. I mean, it was, and that was a huge play because the Bucs, if I'm correct, they stopped the run on first down, made it 2nd and 10. So you're in a good spot right there. You feel like you have to make the 49ers get a short run to give some more breathing room, but instead they're able to run a bootleg and get all the way out to like the 20-yard line, and then they started rolling, which, yeah, that was – I think that set up the long pass, if I'm correct. Mm-hmm. So that was a game changer. If we could have had them punt inside the 5-yard line, got the ball back, that's you're hoping to go up 14-13, but instead
would have been a really short field.
Instead, you're facing a 20-7 deficit. That's a game changer. You're right. That's a good play to bring up.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those plays where you wish there was an answer. Like you saw it the first time, and then to like see it beginning again, like to have that answer. But it probably was just very well played out to where they didn't even like notice it was happening again. And by the time it was happening again, they're like, "Oh, we can't stop this." First down.
Yeah, but that's on Bucs communication. Like, one of them has to be able to stay home. Probably Zion McCollum on that play if you're a secondary. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, the communication was not there this Sunday. The emotion and stuff had the Bucs confused, frazzled, and they were not able to rally together and communicate and find their matchups. It just didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think it's concerning. It really is concerning. With how they cover people. I don't know what happened because it hasn't been like this all year. I think we saw a couple glimpses of in the preseason, especially a game we were out with the Steelers when Zion McCollum got absolutely smoked. But I just didn't think it would come to this where it's like everybody.
And we see them cover like last week against the Titans.
Yeah,
we saw them cover. We see
Jamel
Dean. Honestly, other than that play though, Jamel Dean had a pretty solid game, and he's just. I hope he can play next week. I really do because if we're doing Davis and McCollum, that is not a recipe for a Bucs win. I hate to say it, but it's just not. Yeah. I know we saw some new faces. I think Josh Hayes got in there, so they're trying to.
Merriweather.
They're trying to get new people in there because they recognize the problem. But at this point, it's like, you can only
Somebody's
play with the people on your roster, and they're trying to, and someone has to step up. You're
exactly right. Somebody has definitely got to step up on that secondary. So we'll get to that in the keys to the game for the upcoming game against the Colts. But
wait, before we go to that,
before we go, I still have some more stuff too.
Before we go to that, we have to shout out the janitor, the cleaner-upper, okay, I'm done saying anything. Antoine Winfield, 16 tackles on Sunday. This was, let me get the verbiage correct, but it was a record for a defensive back. It was a record as Antoine Winfield set the single-game record for defensive back tackles at 16 on Sunday. A record, serious. Good job, Antoine Winfield.
Team record?
No, single person.
Wow.
Yes, 16 tackles is the most by any defensive back in a single game in the history of the NFL. So, get this man in the depoy conversation, all right? He's having a great season. Lock him up, Bucs. Great game for you. He really was cleaning up everyone's mess. I mean, anytime someone's out of position, Antoine Winfield's making the tackle. I cannot commend him enough for the effort and the things he does for the Bucs defense. Yeah,
you gotta give him credit, and that's the thing too, man. He shouldn't have to be the cleanup guy. We need our secondary to step up so he can make some plays.
Yes.
Where instead of a touchdown saving tackle, he's making an interception.
That's probably the biggest reason why we didn't get any turnovers for us this Sunday is we weren't able to have Antoine Winfield roam for turnovers because he was having to fix everyone else's mistakes. Also, another player we got to shout out is Yaya Diaby. We told you he played his best game of his career last week, and I think he might have topped it this week as he had 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss in this game. Absolutely flying over there. He's everything we wanted JTS to be and more. So shout out him. I think Shaq Barrett was very disruptive. I think he had a really solid game.
Yeah, I was going to shout him out because he didn't really show up on the stat sheet, but his run defense was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
He was able to blow up the tackles, and Trent Williams is their left tackle. He's one of the best in the game, and he was able to blow him up and cause somebody like Yaya or Vita Vea to come in and make a big tackle. So. Yeah, you love to see that because it's things like that go unnoticed. It's not going to show up in the stat sheet how well you do in run defense if you're not making the TFL, but you're able to disrupt that and cause somebody to get free and come make a big play. So shout out to him. I'd say shout out to Will Golston. Shout out Will Golston. Again, not really a big guy on the stat sheet, but he was causing some pressure. Yep. He was really getting home. Brock Purdy. Putting them under duress a little bit, so I can't go without shouting him out. But back to Yaya Diaby, man. Biggest steal of the draft, really? 3rd-round pick. Like, how did nobody pick this guy?
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah. He's jacked, too, by the way. Absolutely jacked.
He's a machine.
Y'all remember the Smucker slogan? And it was like, with a name like Smuckers, it's got to be good.
Hey, with a name like Yaya, he's got to be good.
Yaya Diaby, he's got to be awesome.
I like that.
I thought of a great segment for a Christmas episode. We'll have to do like our TB Tampa Bay Christmas wish list. I think
that one's so cliche.
I think I'm putting a Yaya Diaby jersey on there. A fresh number 0 in the Bucs red.
I know this isn't Tampa, but I'm putting a Jalen Suggs jersey up there. Sorry, not Tampa.
I thought you were talking about the one where it's like
the sister city.
The gift I want for Christmas this year is Freddie Freeman.
Hey,
that
one's so cliche.
We'll do like gear or just something.
That one's better.
I'll put on my wish list Carlton Davis remembering how to play football. Sorry, that's not cool.
Just whatever is bugging them too.
Yes.
I think they're a little banged up and they're kind of forcing themselves back in a little too early.
I agree.
But they got to figure it out, man.
They do.
Gotta figure it out.
It was a really good game for the front four for this game. I mean, Vita Vea had another good game. The run game stoppage was everything you needed it to be, but the coverage was just bad. Brock Purdy's under duress, but when a receiver's wide open, it's still not that hard.
It's easy to make plays, dude.
It really is. So coverage has to be better, and unless you guys have anything else, we can talk about the game that the coverage needs to be better in, and that's this next week in Indianapolis against the Colts.
Yeah, this game will be 1 p.m. on CBS. I believe that is Channel 10 on your dials. I think that's CBS Channel 10, right?
If you got Spectrum, yeah.
Yeah, if you got Spectrum. or anything else, because I think it's just 10. I think it's just their name.
You're right.
So.
It is one of those.
Yeah, CBS, 1 p.m. The Colts are kind of an up-and-down team, I'd say. They're kind of an up-and-down team. If you're a Florida Gators fan, you know that they selected Anthony Richardson, number 5 overall in this recent NFL draft. Fortunately, he's hurt. You won't get to see him. Could have been a battle of Gator QBs, but
that would have been my Super Bowl.
That would have been pretty cool, actually. But anyways, he's hurt. You'll see Gardner Minshew. You probably heard that name before. Minshew Mania a couple years ago when he was with Jacksonville.
Dude,
right?
Okay, yeah, so I saw this picture, and it was 2020. The Jacksonville Jaguars had Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew, Josh Dobbs. They had like the 3 best backup quarterbacks in like league history all in their quarterback room.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so random.
And that's why Nick Foles was bad, because he has to be a backup to be good.
Yeah.
Like they gave him a mega deal and made
that
him
was
the
Bears.
franchise.
That was the Bears. That
They did with the Jags too.
Oh,
They gave him
He's
a
gotta be a
franchise
backup,
deal,
man.
and he broke his collarbone in like the first week, and then he started the rest of the year.
He won a Super Bowl. He's been paid ever since.
Yeah, that is true. He had a great run. But yeah, so Bucs and Colts, this is a battle of 2 teams that are desperately pushing for the playoffs. The Colts are 5-5, the Bucs are 4-6, and this is a huge game for both teams. The intensity is going to be ratcheted up. It's a away game for the Bucs, and you know, I think one key for the Bucs this game is they've been doing it, but they have to stop the run game. The Colts boast 2 very good running backs in Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss. They've been able to find yards with both of those running backs. Zach Moss was doing it by himself at the beginning of the season. Now Jonathan Taylor is back, and they are a dual threat attack. And if the Bucs are able to stop the run and make Gardner Minshew be a thrower, I think they're going to be in good shape in this game.
Yeah, I think we talked about it with the cornerbacks getting it right this week. This is a perfect opportunity. They got Micah Pittman, Alec Pierce, right?
Yes,
I just had the roster up. For wide receivers, they got Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs. This isn't even close to one of the best receiving cores they've seen. So this is your chance to get it right. Get it right. You don't have a great receiving core you're going up against. Don't let them have days. Don't let them have days, because they haven't all year. And I think Gardner Minshew is a fun quarterback. He kind of reminds me of Baker Mayfield. He's putting it all out on the line. And he might force some throws, and he might try to be a hero. You got to capitalize. You got to get some turnovers off this guy. It can happen. Yeah, I think you're exactly right with the running game. Don't let it go in. Don't let it get going. I don't think it's that great anyway. Like, I think they got great running backs, but I think you should be able to shut this down. Like, this offense for the Colts, again, nowhere near close to being as good as the offenses we've seen all year. Got to be able to shut them down.
What about you, Joel? You got any keys to this game?
Just don't hold on to this loss from this week. Move on. You know, all the cliches we get. Like, let's just fix what we messed up last week, and we should be good to go. The Colts aren't as much of a competition, so I think it'll be close. But if we clean up what we got to clean up, we got this.
Yeah, and I agree. This is the start of a 4-game stretch where the Bucs need to have wins. Like, it has to be 3-1 at the minimum, if not 4-0. This is the start of it. This is where I think we all think the Bucs are a better team than the record shows. I think the Bucs are just a little bit of clicking away from really taking that next step. Mm-hmm. I think they've been in so many games where they just have missed opportunities and missed, just plays and stuff that could have changed the whole outcome. And I think they're the best team in the South. I think they should win it. I think they are a really good team, and if they can just figure out a couple kinks and tweak a couple things, I really think we can see a lot of wins coming up for the Bucs. And I think it has to start this week. You have to win the turnover battle. You got to get back to forcing turnovers, and Baker needs to be a little bit less hero. Take what the game gives you. The Colts do have a very underrated defense, I'll say, kind of like the Texans we played a couple weeks ago, which we were able to score on. But the Colts are top 10 in numerous categories. They just actually released Darius Leonard today, which is crazy.
Shacklin.
Yeah, I don't know
why you just decided to go by the Ramley.
Dude, it always shocks me when players do that. I'm like, that's
Robbie Chosen.
Yeah, Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, like that just shakes me to my core. But yes, the Colts do have an underrated defense. We've seen them give up points, but we've also seen them keep them in games. So the Bucs just need to move the ball, take what the defense gives you. Hopefully, since it's not as good of a defense, let's get 100-yard rushing. Let's force it. I like the play calling. Keep that up, David Canales. But this is a game I really want the Bucs to win because it's getting to must-win season. It really is.
I completely agree. I think this is kind of a show-me week. Let's see if you can turn it around. To bring up the run game, I think probably their best player on defense has to be DeForest Buckner, their defensive tackle, and Kwity Paye out there at edge. So you got to try to get this run game going. You got to be able to get it going. I think they got some stars out there. Kenny Moore, he's a decent cornerback. Zaire Franklin, their middle linebacker. E.J. Speed, their outside linebacker. They got some talent there. But you should be able, if you can move the ball in the 49ers like you were doing, you can easily move the ball on this Colts team.
Yeah, this game actually reminds me of a lot of the other Tampa Bay team, the USF Bulls, because we know after that Alabama game, after that Memphis game, we were begging the Bulls to take a good loss and make it into a good win the next week. And that's what the Bucs have to do. The Bulls are able to do it a couple times. The Bucs have to do that this week and take the fact that you've been able to compete with numerous Super Bowl contending teams, Lions, Eagles, 49ers, all those teams, and you have to take that into beating inferior teams, which I know the Colts are 5-5, but I do think the Bucs are a better team than the Colts.
Completely agree. And I think one thing that's a little different, too, is that the Bucs are looking for a playoff spot. I don't think the Colts necessarily are.
They're in it, though. They're in that wild card chase.
They're not beating out the Jags, that's for sure. For the the AFC South.
They're behind the Jags and the Texans now.
Exactly, yeah. So you are the better team. You have more to play for than the Colts. Go win it. Go win it. That being said, I think it might be time to predict.
Let's do it.
You were very close last week.
I know. 3 points off for me. I said 24-14 49ers. It was 27-14.
Yeah, that's
brutal.
We're going to get it. Somebody's going to get it. It's going to change. I keep
getting mine close, but it's always like they got 2 field goals, and I said they get the touchdown or something like that.
Man.
Yeah, that's the worst is when you're like 1 point off and they get 7. So
I think I called the 49ers with the score, and I was like 1 point off on their score or something.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get to the prediction score at the end. Stay tuned for it. It was a 3-way tie last week. Did it change? You'll have to find out, so stay tuned.
I'm just going to blow it now. I'm way behind now.
Maybe.
Not way behind.
Maybe.
No, not way behind.
It's going to take you a little bit.
You could get back in a week.
Man, I could.
Can you get back this week by predicting the Bucs score correctly? What's it going to be,
All right, I'm going to say 20-13 Bucs.
All right.
There we go. He's rooting for the Bucs.
You gotta pick them. You gotta pick them here.
2013, right?
Yeah, let's go 2013. There'll be some field goals.
I like that.
Yeah, I think the Bucs can easily win this game. I think they should do it pretty handily. I think it might be close in the first half, but I think the Bucs will get it going in the second, and they'll kind of run away with it like they should have in Houston. So with that being said, give me the Bucs 23, the Colts 10.
Yeah, that's a better score than mine. I like that one.
I just traded. I gave the Bucs a field goal and took a field goal away from the Colts.
You know, I'm gonna say it. This here week, like a cowboy. This week is going to be a statement win for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're gonna win this game 31-13. Big week for Baker. Rashad White goes for 80-plus yards rushing and 50 yards receiving. Huge game. Mike Evans, huge game. All of it, you name it. This is where the week where the Bucs offense, hard work, pays off, and they score a bunch of points. And the defense is going to bounce back.
I'd like to see it. I think the over-under for this game is like 52.5. So we're all betting the under, I guess. I don't know why they think it's high scoring. Vegas thinks it's high scoring.
Yeah, I know
two pretty good defenses.
The Colts had a high scoring game against the Browns a couple weeks
probably
ago.
Why.
That's why. I mean, that was at Colts, so maybe that's why. But
Colts are on a little 2-game winning streak, but the teams they beat weren't good. It was the Patriots and Panthers.
And then
so they got a winning mentality coming in.
Was it? Oh, I think they were coming off a bye then, right?
Yeah, they just beat the Patriots in the last game in Germany.
Yes.
And they had a bye week this week, so they're a little fresh. Maybe they got some jet lag.
Or a little rusty.
Or a little rusty.
Or a little rusty. That's a plan. But Yeah, make sure to watch your Tampa Bay Buccaneers 1 p.m. on CBS. Go Bucs.
And I must say, there was one team that actually brought a little joy to our hearts this week, and that was your Tampa Bay Lightning. As we're going to talk about a week plus. So the Tampa Bay Lightning were, in our absence of TB3, played 4 games. They played 4 games, and they were able to go 3-1. Huge week for the Bolts. What happened? Let's start off with the downer.
Start off a little sour.
Start off a little sour as the Tampa Bay Lightning head into St. Louis, the 2019 Cup winners. That was 4 years ago. Can you believe
With Pat
that?
Maroon.
Time flies.
Time flies. And one holdover from that team, Jordan Binnington, had a huge game as he was able to shut out the Lightning for their second consecutive day, and the St. Louis Blues rolled to a 5-0 victory. And that was pretty much it. It was a pretty dud game for the Lightning, and
that was their first shutout, right?
This was the second shutout for the Lightning
I was gonna say,
in a row,
I know that was this the first one? Okay,
this was the second one in a row.
Oh, yeah.
They just took the weekend off.
That was a
They
gold
took the weekend
drought
off.
right
They
there.
took a long weekend. However, the Lightning, nothing gets a team going like a little bit of revenge. And this is what the Lightning were looking for in Chicago against the Blackhawks. And this game was kind of back and forth as Chicago went on top 1-0 in the first period, and that is what the score was. This was a pretty weak period for the Lightning, I must say. A bunch of really good saves by Jonas Johansson. I need to say it right. And a lot of good opportunities for the Blackhawks and not a lot of good opportunities for the Lightning. But they got out of this period 1-0, and they immediately turned this game upside down. As in the second period, Braden Point gets a beautiful power play goal to knot this game up. And then Sergei, with his first goal of the season, Mikhail Sergachev puts the Lightning on top 2-1. Only the first goal by a defenseman not named Victor Hedman. That's crazy.
The only reason he scored that goal is because I was really thinking about picking him for a goal last week.
Just rubbing in your face.
He got 2 just to make me mad.
And speaking of rubbing things in your face, Corey Perry scores another goal against the Lightning. He has 4 goals.
Hate that guy.
He has 4 goals on the season, and I think half of them are against the Lightning, so that's great. But another defenseman in the third period, Victor Hedman, puts the Lightning up 3-2, and then to seal the deal after a lot of really good defense in this game in the second and the third period, Brandon Hagel gets the empty netter. The Lightning win this game 4-2 to close out the road trip. Very good game. And then they're back in the Amalie Arena. A beautiful afternoon game, but it didn't start off beautiful as the Edmonton Oilers scored 2 unanswered goals from the get-go. And this was another pretty weak first period for the Lightning. But towards the end, on the power play, Nikita Kucherov, all reliable, gets us back to 2-1. Very nicely done. Great power play. The power play movement this week was looking exquisite, I must say. And then in the second period, that man, once again, Nikita Kucherov gets another goal, knots us up 2-2. However, the Oilers from Mr. Ryan gets his second goal of the game, and the Edmonton Oilers take a 3-2 lead headed into the third period. However, early on in the third, the Lightning respond as Tanner Jeannot gets a goal, ties it up, but then Mr. Bouchard from the Oilers puts the Oilers back on top. It's a crazy game. However, the Lightning harnessed the crazy as Steven Stamkos, off another beautiful power play in his office, ties the game up 4-4. And then his biggest goal as a Lightning, Mr. Luke Glendening gets the icebreaker, the goal to put the Lightning up 5-4, and then Mikhail Sergachev with another one, an empty net goal from 200 feet all the way down the ice. What a shot. Puts the Lightning up 6-4, and that would be your final score. They win their second game of the week, 6-4. And boys, put on your seatbelts, buckle up, because this game on Monday against the Boston Bruins was a doozy. Wait, okay, hold up. That's crazy. We'll get to this. However, no, never mind. Psych. Shut up, Colby. So, first period, a heavyweight battle. These two teams know all about each other from years of playoff rivalries. And It felt like one, honestly, as Tanner Janot comes out in the first period, gets another goal, the Lightning go up 1-0, but then Zacha on the Bruins ties it back up 1-1, but then on the power play, another beautiful power play goal for the Lightning. Nick Paul puts them up 2-1, but then the Bruins respond as Pasternak and Beecher both score 2 unanswered goals within about a minute's time. Classic Lightning puts the Bruins up 3-2. However, Austin Watson gets his first career goal in a huge spot in the third period to tie this game up 3-3. However, Charlie Coyle gets the go-ahead goal with about 4 minutes left, and the Lightning is looking bleak. But Nikita Kucherov, 5 seconds remain. He's looking. He passed the ball through the crease to the other side, and look who's waiting. Mr. Steven Stamkos right in his office. Beautiful, wide open. I don't know how they lost him, but thank you, Boston. He ties the game up with 5 seconds to go, and we are headed to the vaunted, the daunting, the haunting, the bad, the terrible overtime. That is what we think is going to happen for the Lightning. However,
after I cursed him for like a whole year, and I'm so sorry.
Yes, a whole lot of cursing and curse goes on with Lightning overtime. However, there was none of that. Maybe there was cursing if you were happy, but we don't do that here at TB3. But Brandon Hagel scores an overtime winner and the Lightning win this game 5-4, and they break the curse. I'm pretty sure it was 11 or 12 straight overtime losses for the boys, and it was an absolute, it was just weight off our shoulders, beating a rival, winning an overtime game. It was probably the best game of the season, and we loved it.
Yes, that was the first overtime win in regulation, not shootout, which the Lightning have only had 3 of, but the first overtime win in regulation since December of 2022.
Almost a year.
It's been a minute, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time coming, but the curse is over. I have uncursed the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm still writing things down. I'm studying the past couple of days what I did differently to break the curse, but it's over. It's over. And, it's so hard sometimes being so right, like all the time on this show. You guys know how it is, but I texted the group chat when Stammer scored the overtime goal. And I was like, methinks this is all for naught and we're going to see them lose again. And I was wrong. And I couldn't have been more happy to be wrong about that, because I was not going in very happy once I saw overtime and I saw a miraculous last-second goal to tie the game. I really was not happy, nor did I expect a great outcome. But we beat Boston. We owned Boston. Certified Boston hater right here. Mm-hmm. The whole city
All
stinks.
my homies hate Boston.
They
Stupid
stink.
city, stupid sports team, stupid people. I don't like them.
Nobody likes those crab sandwiches. What do they call those things?
No one likes chowder. No one likes that. Your food's
Nobody
nasty.
likes your accents either.
Yeah, no one
Nobody
likes
likes it.
Stop faking it, guys.
Fenway's really small.
Yes.
It's really small.
The
It's not
Green
a cool ballpark to watch a game in. It's nothing like the Trop.
The Green Monster sucks.
New England Patriots. Just because you don't play in Boston doesn't mean you shouldn't be called Boston. You're the Boston Patriots.
And you're cheaters.
And
you're
stink.
cheaters.
And you stink.
You like deflated balls.
You stink. And Tom Brady liked it better in Tampa.
Cheers wasn't
Yeah.
even a good
David
show.
Ortiz,
Cheers wasn't a good show.
David Ortiz, you took steroids. Get out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. All right.
Did he get? Did he shoot himself in the leg, or is that a keep to leave?
No.
They might have both,
I
man.
think David Ortiz just got shot. I don't think he shot
Oh,
himself.
yeah, he got shot. That was scary because I thought he might have died and then he didn't die. So I love you, David Ortiz.
Okay, yeah, we don't.
All jokes aside, Boston stinks.
We don't like Boston, but yes, this was. My close friend Meek Mill once said it. I used to pray for times like this, and that's how I felt about this Lightning overtime win, because it was. The faith was low. We've seen way too many overtime losses. We've seen it over and over again. The Lightning just lose possession, and it's a slow, painful death. Even sometimes they do penalties on the power play, or penalties in overtime, which is even more painful. But the Lightning possessed the puck in this game. A beautiful stretch pass during a change got Brandon Hagel free, and he buried it. and the Lightning won this game. So, I mean, we can go back to the beginning of the week. We'll go chronological. We don't have to sit on this game for much longer. But the only loss of this week was a 5-0 loss in St. Louis. This was a brutal game. The St. Louis Blues really were able to get out in transition, get out to odd man rushes, and hurt the Lightning. Whether this was changes that were not at good times or whether this was turnovers, the Lightning did a terrible job keeping the Blues out of transition, and it cost them in like all of their goals.
Yeah, I think, one thing, a side note, I thank you if you're listening right now. Thank you for listening to the show. If you're new, stay a while. You know how it is. But I can really tell we're going mainstream. Maybe it's my delusions. Maybe it's my undiagnosed schizophrenia, psychosis. But, I think more people are listening, and even people who aren't fans necessarily of the Tampa Bay area, because for some reason, I guess I fired up the Blues. I got them fired up because I slandered that team. I said they stink, which they still do. They still do. And I'm sorry, Jordan Binnington. I know you're listening right now, but I don't care if you got a regular season win against the Bulls.
30 saves.
Won't matter. It won't matter.
He had a really good game in this one. 30 saves, none allowed. Good game for Binnington, but he's about as hot and cold of a goalie as they come. So
he talks trash.
Yeah.
Talks trash, gets smashed. You know what I'm saying? So
it's unfortunate we caught him on his hot day, but that stinks.
I fired him up. He was listening.
He fired him up. Also, Will fired up Brock Purdy, saying he was overrated, and Brock Purdy had a perfect passer rating.
He still is overrated.
He cursed the Lightning. He just needs to stop talking.
Yeah, dude. Will definitely riled up some people, but that's okay.
But we know people are listening to the show, right? We know they're listening.
My negativity sometimes makes positive movements in Tampa Bay. So
I just feel like when you're negative, you're always right.
Yeah,
like if you pick the Bucs to win, they won't. But if you pick them to lose, they're guaranteed.
I'm on a
to lose.
really bad streak with being negative, so I'm going the other way.
Yep. So, I mean, there was actually, I do want to say, Jonas Johansson actually, he gave him 5 goals. No, he gave him 3. 2 of the goals. No, stop, Colby. He gave him 4 goals, 1 empty netter. However, Jonas Johansson made that
was 2 empty netters.
No, it was 1 empty netter, and then he was back in on a 2-on-1, and he gave up a goal. So it was like, it's not his fault. But a lot of odd man rushes, and he stood on his head in that game. He made, 3 or 4 absolutely fantastic saves in that game. So we didn't help him at all. He ended up getting a loss for a game he shouldn't have gotten a loss for. But that's what happens when you're giving the puck away and not playing good defense.
Yeah, I think one person that really stuck out to me in that game was Darren Radish. Was out of position a lot and gave up the first 2 goals basically on his own. A couple bad decisions throughout the game. So I hate to call out singular players, but that's what I noticed. And then, sometimes it's just not your night, Like I still think offensively, the Bolts played great. They played great in that game. They just could not get something going. They had plenty of quality opportunities. Cooch had a couple great shots. I know Braden Point had like a breakaway that was batted away. So, it happens. Sometimes it just isn't your night. But I think how they played offensively translated right to the next game against Chicago, where they were able to get a win. And I hate Corey Perry.
Yeah.
I hate Corey Perry.
I agree. The shutout against the Hurricanes was nothing like the shutout against the Blues. The
Exactly,
Blues shutout was just really good goaltending and just unlucky bounces.
Last note on the Blues game, I don't think it was the same goalies. I was just trying to look at it quick because you guys were talking about how the goalies hot and cold. The next 2 games, the Blues gave up 5 goals.
Wow.
5 goals in both
Talk
games.
trash, get smashed, Jordan Binnington.
That sounds about right for him, man.
I think the backup and the starter each had a game, but
he gave up 5 the next day, so it's like at least on one of them.
Yeah. They both gave up 5, yeah.
Yeah. And so, we can segue into the start of the Lightning's winning streak against the Blackhawks. Like I mentioned, really bad first period, I have to say. It was another really good game by Johansson to keep the Lightning in it after the first period because the Blackhawks were buzzing. And I'm honestly, like we said earlier, the Lightning have not been able to hang around in these type of periods that they've been having. So that's a positive sign. Mm-hmm. And then the way they responded in the second and third period, where they dominated, in my opinion, was also a positive sign.
Yeah, it's good. It's just it's still like I think we've seen it a little too many times for my comfort now, where it's just been you come out a little sloppy in the first period, and you give yourself sometimes a deficit that carries on through the rest of the game. I think again too, Darren Radish lets Corey Perry screen Johansson to give up the first goal. You gotta smoke that guy. You can't let your goalie get screened. You can't just be standing around. When you're standing around as a defenseman, somebody's open, and they're probably right in front of the goalie. So, gotta step it up there.
Did we just pull up a defenseman? Maybe coming for Darren Radge's spot. I think we did.
Might be.
I think we just pulled.
I know Perbix didn't have a great. He didn't have a great week either. I can't lie, but it is what it is. They got a good win. I hate it. We had.
Yeah, other than those two guys, I do like the way the defensemen were playing in this game. They were very active in the offensive zone. I mean, Victor had
both the big guys having a goal.
Yeah, they both had goals, and I mean, Hedman's goal was not a shot. Hedman's goal was on the doorstep of the goal, like he was right there. So it was a bank pass off the thing.
Yes, I wanted to bring that up. That was that game.
That was
Eric
sick.
Chernak from the blue line ricochets the puck behind the goal. Ricochets right to Victor Hedman's stick. Easy one-timer. That was sick. And I don't know if it was on purpose, but if I was Eric Chernak, I would definitely say he did that on purpose, because that was
a lot of defensemen do that
play.
on purpose. Yeah, that was.
But
yeah,
to
that
directly
was a great
give it to Hedman for the goal,
Hey.
I know you might be dumping it in,
He
but
can only
take credit for it.
Yeah, hey, that's
I know
his
you're
assist.
listening.
Yeah, that's
take
his
credit
assist.
for it.
Yeah, so that was a really good play. Oh, Mikey Esamon absolutely manhandled someone in a fight in that game. By the way, I love when the boys I love Mikey Esamon. He's one of my favorite young Lightning players. I love the way he plays. He's scrappy. I know Joel. He didn't get a goal for Joel, which stinks.
I wanted him to.
He did beat someone up though. So that's
that's a
point in your heart.
Yeah, that's a point in my heart.
So, yeah, that was a great thing. And then, like I said, man, really good second and third period by the Lightning. They just controlled the ice. They limited the giveaways, and their puck movement. Starting in this game, their puck movement throughout the week was fantastic. On the power play, on the 5-on-5, great puck movement. So, yeah, shout out to Sergachev. 2 goals this week. Started with that one. And
you mentioned passing the puck around. I think the Oilers game, that was like one of the best goals I've seen.
Yes.
I can't remember who it is. It was Kucherov in the middle, passing it back and forth. They're just going back and forth playing patty cake.
And I think it was Point scored that goal, right?
It was Stammer.
Oh,
it was Stammer. They're passing it back and forth on the right side of the crease,
yeah,
and then just zips it to Stamkos on the left side. I mean, they lulled the Oilers to sleep.
I think it was like Cooch Point, Stammer goal. It was oh my gosh. The passing
awesome.
This week was it was really it was beautiful. It brought a tear to my eye. It was so gorgeous. It was awesome.
I think great win. I think the Oilers, I guess they don't listen up in Canada maybe, because I was talking a little trash about them too.
No, well, honestly though, I think they just stink because they kind of came out firing 2-0 deficit for the Lightning. So yeah, honestly, I feel like with the Lightning, it's like every other week. Either they have great first periods and blow the lead, or they come out sloppy in the first period and then they come back. Yeah, it's like they alternate.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, I know. I think I have to shout out Johansson for this game, because the Lightning played terrible in that first period. And it was he gave up 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
But it easily could have been like 5.
Yeah.
Easily could have been like 5. So
Johansson had a great week.
Yeah, he had a great week, but especially that period, I just think if he wasn't in there playing lights out, holding his water, it could have been bad. Could have been bad.
Also, a huge goal by Cooch at the end of the first period to kind of tilt it back our way, which is, like we said, when the Lightning have been down and getting outplayed, they've let the game get away from them so many times early on in the season, giving up runs of goals in, like 2 in a minute or 2 in 30 seconds, stuff like that. And they didn't allow that to happen this game. They kept it 2-0. They cut into the lead before the first period horn sounded. So that was great for the Lightning.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, and I think the Oilers, they're bad right now. They'll still be a playoff team. They'll still sneak their way into the playoffs. So
they'll go out in the championship round.
Yeah, they'll go out in the Western Conference Finals, or maybe get upset because they're just lame, but they're a fast team. They've tried to compete with the Avalanche, who we know are pretty fast. So I think the way the Lightning were able to handle them, that's Eastern Conference hockey, baby. It's physical, and you got somebody who can drop dimes like Cooch. It's hard to beat him. It is hard to beat him. But, yeah, question of the day, who's wasting their franchise player more? Is it the Angels and Mike Trout or the Oilers and Connor McDavid?
I'm going to go Angels on that one. Like, not going to the playoffs. Like, only going to the playoffs one time, and it was, like, over 10 years ago. Like, that's crazy.
It's the Angels. It's the Angels and Mike
Do you
Trout.
think so?
Yeah, because, I mean, even going to the Western Conference Finals is like...
But they got swept.
Like, Western Conference Finals
still,
ain't enough.
Yeah, but
though,
you
so
have to
that's a
win.
good question.
But you have to win 2 playoff series to get there. Mike Trout hasn't won a
True.
playoff game.
But, I mean, if you
He has
if
one
you hit
playoff
the Banners,
hit.
who cares?
No, but it's different. It's different. Like, to not get to the playoffs is absolutely atrocious by the Angels.
But do you think maybe with the team that the Oilers have put around him and to still not be able to win?
I
argue
agree.
that?
They definitely do not value the gritty players enough, and they haven't had a good goaltender ever. So, I don't know. I think they're both getting wasted, but I think the Angels is more egregious.
Yeah,
I think the
probably
Oilers are closer to fixing it, too. Like, they'll wake up one day and be like, we should model ourselves a little more like the Lightning and get some grit.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the Oilers thing is coming to an end. I think they might disband.
I don't know.
soon.
They just seem terrible this year, and Lightning
Connor McDavid to the Kings? That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be nice.
Oh,
I would love. I'd root
little
for the
Wayne
Kings.
like
Gretzky
he's Wayne.
sequel.
That's fun.
I kind of like the Kings anyway, with Byfield.
Dude, that would be fun, dude. That would be fun.
Anze Kopitar,
Yeah.
dude. They kind of have
What's
a
their
sick
goalie's
team.
name? Corpusalo? Is that
He's at the Sens now.
Oh.
I can't remember who replaced him. I can't remember what they did. If they just brought in somebody or just drafted a guy. But yeah, he's no longer there. I don't know why you get rid of him. I think Corpusalo was amazing the past couple playoffs. But it is what it is. But yeah, I like the Kings. I like their uniforms. They have cool uniforms.
They gotta go back to the 90s look.
I don't know, dude.
They
I think
got
that
it.
black jersey they have is sleek. That logo is just sleek.
No, but their 90s
Chris.
stuff is
It's
nice
so
as
cool.
It's sick. Yeah, so, I mean, we already kind of talked about the Bruins game, but we can wrap up there. Other than the overtime goal, I mean, just great back-and-forth action this game. I mean, this is probably going to be a playoff series at some point this year. 2 really good teams. I know the Bruins are chokers, but
they're still hot right
they're
now.
still
This is
good.
the hottest they've
They have
been.
They have one regulation loss on the season.
This is a hot team, and the Lightning. You just have to win games. You have to win games. You got them at home, but there's no guarantees, and to be able to do that, especially how they've struggled with overtime, because I think we've talked about it, but I don't know what's going on inside that locker room, and I know it's different as a professional, but that's got to be kind of weighing on you a little bit, knowing how bad you've done in overtime. So to be able to do that against the best team, not what I think is the best team, but record-wise the best team in the NHL, to do that, man, that is great. And I think
Not only that, but getting the comeback goal, too, in the third.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no quitting this team.
They've been good in the empty net situations this year, I will say. They've done it a couple times. I mean, 2 or 3, 4 times they've tied the game up in an empty net situation. Yeah, I mean, shout out Tanner Jeannot, goals in back-to-back games.
Yes,
He's
sir.
starting to heat up. He's starting to be. I mean, the goal he had against Edmonton was a beautiful pass over to him, slap shot one-timer. It was gorgeous. But he's always all over the place. Honestly, he's been playing pretty well to start the season. And if he's going to score goals too, I mean, he's like he's a game changer for us. He's kind of like the Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Lightning. If we get him going, it takes us to a whole nother level.
Well, we traded away 5 picks for him, so it's time to see something, Tanner. It's time to see something. It's good to see him score some goals. I just feel like there's a lot of new faces. I just think what we've talked about the whole year with the Lightning, they started to get some things right. We said we needed a defense to score, need to get involved in offense. They did that. We need to say some of these young guys got to step up. Some of our free agents and acquisitions got to step up. They did that. We said they got to win in overtime. They did that. So I just think
we have to survive without Vasilevsky. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good, and a great week. A great turnaround, because last week was pretty depressing. You lost to some beatable teams, and actually that was before this week. This was a worse start under John Cooper's tenure as a Tampa Bay Lightning head coach. So, yeah, it wasn't looking good. But we know this team. We know the core they have. We know that they're Stanley Cup champions. They're the champions. They don't choke it away like the Boston Bruins did in 2019. Haven't been back since. That must stink if you're a Boston fan. That must really stink.
Couldn't be me.
2011 was a long time ago. I think they got a couple after that, but
No,
you know what? Tampa Bay.
They
Tampa Bay is the new city of champions.
Yes,
they always love to flaunt their rings up there and flaunt all their championships. Well, you know what? It was a good ride. You're done. See you later. Tampa Bay. We are Tampa Bay. We're going to claim that for a long time because you know what? Nobody had as much success in a short period of time with multiple teams like we did. We haven't seen it since.
Let's go Rowdies.
Rowdies, oh man, they won one
the COVID,
in 21.
The COVID canceled that Tampa Bay era.
Oh,
Well, they won one
yeah.
in 21.
Yeah, they won
Yeah.
it next year.
Let's
So
go
and they're in the
Rowdies.
playoffs every year. So
Come on, Rays, follow suit.
Rays, this is your time.
This is a 2024. Best believe the Rays are winning the World Series. However, speaking of winning, a big part of winning this prediction battle is getting the Lightning right. So I think we should head into Lightning predictions right now.
And we already predicted because we are filming this on November 21st. So we did see the Bruins game. We already saw it, but don't worry.
It was such
We
a
are
good game.
honest.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, we are honest. We predicted beforehand. We wouldn't lie to you guys. We wouldn't lie to the listener. We take this stuff so seriously. So seriously, okay? So I don't want to hear anything in the comments, that we're cheating, we're making this
We're
up.
not cheaters.
We don't do that. So,
Uh-huh.
let's go last week. Joel, you said 1 and 2. Essimont would get a goal. Unfortunately, neither of those happened. Colby said 2 and 1. And Alex Brule would get a goal, so you got 1 point for him. I said 2 and 1. And that Nick Paul would get a goal. Oh, wait, no. We got the prediction right, the wins.
Yes.
Barry Boulay and Paul did not score, but we got the 2 and 1 right. We're the Jolly Rogers. So yeah, this week, Joel, you said 0 and 3.
Okay, let me explain myself.
Oh,
the Lightning,
man.
the Lightning are coin
Busted.
flip. I've already lost the Bruins. We beat the Bruins, but the Lightning are a coin flip. You just don't know sometimes. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold. And the Bruins, the Jets, and the Hurricanes, the teams we're playing this week, they're pretty daunting. So I was like, I don't always like picking the same things as the other guys. They're probably gonna go 2 and 1, 1 and 2. So I was like, I'm gonna go outside the box, say 0 and 3, and now I got to eat my words.
Well, hopefully Hedman gets you a goal because that's who you picked for your goal score.
Last week I picked that guy, Asamont. So this week I was like, I deserve one of the stars. I'm taking Hedman.
Yeah, take the
Mikey got
stars.
me a goal a couple weeks ago, so he likes me better than you.
I
That's
guess,
all I'm
I guess
saying.
so. I guess.
Yeah. Well, Colby, you said 2 and 1. You're Mr.
did.
Jolly Roger, and you said Sergachev will get you a goal.
I think he's staying hot.
Hopefully that happens. I said 1 and 2, and I said Point. I know he got a couple goals last week, but I still want him to. I want to have a Kucherov type week. You know what I'm saying? I want a couple goals a game, maybe like 2 goals in the next couple games. So yeah, if you're listening to this right now when it comes out, the Lightning beat the Boston Bruins, but
I was only 5 seconds away from them losing
That's
too.
true. That's
So
true.
if I was ever mad about a win, it's that one.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, so Wednesday, November 22nd, the Lightning will play the Winnipeg Jets at home, 7 p.m. That will be on Bally. And then on Friday, Black Friday, that would be the 24th, if I got my math correct. That will be on 8 p.m. and they're at Carolina. Revenge game again. They're playing Carolina so much, man.
Hey, get them out of the way now.
Yeah, let's
True.
start beating them. Let's go back. Get that sour
1-1.
taste out of your mouth.
Big rubber match here, but we play.
Yeah, I think we can't. We didn't get to talk about the Bruins because we kind of figured we'd
Save them for next week.
save them for next week, but you just can't.
we were
You
excited.
can't, you can't not take the opportunity
The
to
curse
slam
is
Boston, to hate on Boston. But yeah, I think Winnipeg Jets. That should be a winnable game for them. And then the Hurricanes, you've already played them twice. 1 win, 1 loss. Let's get a dub. They're up there in Raleigh. So yeah, I think 1 and 1. 2-0. 2-0 should be easy to do, but we'll see. So
Yeah.
I predicted them
Yeah.
to lose both these games.
If we
basically.
do 3-0, no one's
I'm
gonna be
negative,
sad.
so.
Yeah. Hey, so you guys, I don't know, but I know you guys listen and you guys probably enjoyed it. But on Halloween, we played our special trick or treat game, and now Thanksgiving's coming up. This episode will be posted the day before Thanksgiving, so we're going to have a little bit of a Thanksgiving game, and it's going to be called the TB3 Thanksgiving Dinner. Now, the rules and regulations of this game are we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different classic Thanksgiving entrees. We got turkey, we got ham, we got mac and cheese, we got mashed potatoes, we got sweet potato casserole, we got stuffing, we got green beans, we got dinner rolls, and we got apple pie. And we are all going to have our own Thanksgiving feasts, and we're going to compare any player that is currently playing in the Tampa Bay.
Currently playing, okay.
I think currently. I say we
that's
go
a big
currently.
rule, yeah.
I
I like
say
it.
we
I
go
like it. I
currently.
like it.
That is currently playing on all three of the Tampa Bay teams. If you guys want to dip in college football, I'll allow it. However, it is what it is. But we're going to compare. We're going to make players and we're going to give our explanations on why we think they fit this food. So I'll go first. I'll set the tone a little bit. I'm going to do turkey. I'm going to do turkey right now.
One thing, let me just
Yes.
say, if you're listening right now, maybe you're listening on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving if you're listening.
Yes.
And maybe you wanted to get away from the family. Maybe they're talking about politics or
going
arguing
crazy.
about something weird. Maybe your weird cousins come over.
Maybe you got hurt in your family's turkey bowl and you need to listen to something while you're recovering.
Maybe somebody's yelling at the football game way too much.
So yeah, if you
you
just
got a
want
Lions
to, if
fan
you're
in
listening to
your
TB3,
family.
listening to TB3, play along with us. Play along with us and make sure to comment your answers. So we'd love to hear
Yes.
that. Play along if you're listening right now.
All right, so I'm going to start off. Turkey. I'm going to give you guys my turkey. This one was pretty straightforward to me. Turkey. It's what we think of when we think of Thanksgiving. It's the goat, if you will. You know, some people have strong hatred towards turkey. A lot of people don't like turkey, but a lot of people love turkey. And you can't deny that turkey is synonymous with Thanksgiving and it's one of the greatest holiday foods, if not the greatest holiday food of all time. So with that being said, for my turkey, I'm going to pick Tom Brady.
I thought you just said current.
Oh, shoot, you're right. Dang it. I'm going to pick, for those reasons, I'm going to say one of the goats of Lightning hockey. I'm going to say Steven Stamkos.
Yeah, that's my answer too. I
think we can.
shouldn't.
I think we can repeat. I think we can repeat.
Yeah, I was gonna say Steven Stamkos because if my history is correct, way back in the ancient times, the Pilgrims invented turkey. So like turkey has been a staple of Thanksgiving forever. Like, you've added some dishes here and there, and everybody has their own thing. Like, some people have some weird dishes they always have for Thanksgiving. So stuff has gotten added. But one thing that's always been there, one thing that the Pilgrims invented was turkey, okay? It's always been there. I think it'd be, if you're listening and you don't have turkey on Thanksgiving, that's kind of crazy. But turkey, it's been there forever. It's always a staple. It's what everybody's looking forward to, and a staple of the Tampa Bay area. I mean, since I was a wee lad, has been Steven Stamkos. So that's why I have to give Steven Stamkos, he's the turkey of Tampa Bay sports.
I agree.
All right, this is Joel here. I hate turkey as much as anybody else, so I didn't understand this game either.
That's fair. It's an interpretation of all of
All
us.
right,
and you
all
got to
right.
explain
So-
your
If you
That's
hate
it.
turkey,
So-
you
That's
can
the fun part of this.
Staying in the lightning lane right now. I went with Victor Hedman. He's my cranberry sauce. He slices and dices.
That's not on the
games.
list, man.
I like cranberry sauce. That's what I was saying. I
So
didn't
you're
understand the
switching
game.
them from turkey?
Wait.
Yeah.
I
didn't understand the game.
His turkey is cranberry sauce, and his cranberry sauce
No.
is
This,
Victor.
no. This is, you're breaking the rules here, and I'm not gonna let it fly. You look at your text message, and those are your foods that you can choose from. All right. I did forget cranberry sauce. That's on me.
In my defense,
We can
I
add
was singing
cranberries.
Taylor Swift in the car for most of the day.
Fair enough. That's okay. Yeah, that'll take a lot out of a man. That will. So, I mean, hey, we'll give Joel a little bit of time because he did not know what's happening.
If you don't like turkey,
all right, I'm gonna go Victor Hedman mac and cheese and.
Okay, I like it. That's good.
Who's
That's
your
fine.
Turkey?
We can. Hey,
My turkey? I don't like turkey.
So then who
do you not like?
Who do you not like? That's a fun
part
of the game.
Okay. Man, I wish Andre Palat was still on the team.
What?
Let's go Sergachev. He annoys me.
Okay, all right.
Sergachev.
It's like, just be Victor Hedman already.
That's fair.
Valid. He's valid.
All right, Will, give me a food that you think, anyone, whatever you want.
Oh, let's do the rolls. The rolls are usually like an appetizer. Like you want to get the rolls in first, right? You don't want to have them at the end. You're full, right? You're full, and then it's like, oh man, I forgot I didn't eat the rolls, and it's so much bread. So when I think of that, I think of you want to get it first. They want to be first place, first base. Yandy Diaz, okay?
Okay.
Like Yandy Diaz, he's good at first base, okay? He's first in the batting average. He's first in hits.
I like it.
So yeah, he's first. You want to be first. Yandy Diaz is first in a lot of ways for the Tampa Bay Rays.
So I think I'm gonna go mac and cheese. I'm gonna give my mac and cheese. So mac and cheese has not always been a Thanksgiving food. It's something that it's kind of been a new staple. It's not always been there, but it's one of a lot of people. When you say what's your favorite Thanksgiving food, a lot of people are going to tell you mac and cheese, and I think that's
it's
true.
A Southern thing.
It's a Southern thing, but it's kind of been transplanted. This is where I'm getting at. Transplanted into the Thanksgiving culture all around the country. All right.
Uh-huh.
So just like Nikita Kucherov came from Russia and became one of the fan favorites for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'm going Nikita Kucherov for my mac and cheese.
I like it.
I'm gonna go. I'll take my mashed potatoes. I'm gonna give it to Yandy Diaz because he mashed his balls.
Yeah, it's a good one. He's a masher. Back to me.
Yeah.
All right, I guess. All right. So you know what? Joel doesn't like turkey. I'm not really a fan of ham.
What? Okay, I'm gonna eat your turkey. You'll eat my ham.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right. We'll trade off plates. I'm not a big ham guy. Sometimes it can be too sweet. I really want savory, warm ham. Sometimes it's gets too cold too easily. Man, so they're cold, not that great. It's when Brandon Lau's in a slump. Brandon Lau's my ham.
Dude,
I hate to do it to him.
And then but if you get some good ham, that's good.
But if you get
Lau.
if you get good
that's a good
ham,
one. I like
it's
that.
Brandon Lau.
I like that.
But normally it's cold and nah.
I really like that. No,
Brandon
that's
Lau.
a good answer. That is a good answer. I'm gonna go. I've been sitting on this too long. I hate green beans. I despise them. I've had some many times growing up where I was forced to eat green beans. I was not having it. And I'm just going to say someone I just really do not like right now on the Tampa Bay area. I'm saying for green beans, I'm saying Carlton Davis. I'm fed up with the way he's covering. I don't like him. He makes me throw up, which green beans have done before. Him covering makes me want to throw up, and that's why Carlton Davis is my green beans.
All right, Joel, you have the floor.
Stuffing. Who is my stuffing? Vita Vea. Stuffing, I feel like you like stuffing.
Stuffing the run.
Yeah.
Stuffing the run.
I was gonna say he's fat. That's better.
He's big bodied. He's a run stopper. We need that kind of guy on the team.
You guys assume too much of me on that one.
I guess I'll go green beans too because I don't think green beans by themselves are that good, but when you get to Thanksgiving time. And my family likes making green bean casserole. And that is a little bit of cream of mushroom. You mix that up. You put some crunchy onion on there. You bake it up. And to me, that's fire. And I think what makes it so good is it's baked. And Baker Mayfield, on his own, sometimes he hasn't been good. But I think you mix him with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's turning it around. He turns into something pretty good. Baker Mayfield is my green bean casserole.
All right, I like it. I'm gonna do my mashed potatoes. All right. I like that Baker pick. I'm trying to think of something for Baker. But I'm going to go for my mashed potatoes. And when I think of mashed potatoes, I just think of rock solid. I think of just a solid side. You know what you're going to get from mashed potatoes. It's going to be good regardless. It might not be the flashiest thing. It might not be the best thing. But you know what you're going to get. And that's how I feel about Isaac Paredes. I feel like, he's just as solid as they come. He's going to hit a home run to the pull side. He's going to drive people in. He's going to take his walks when he needs to. So for that reason, I'm going Isaac Paredes as my mashed potatoes.
All right. This one's for you, Baker Mayfield. You're classic. You're like country music. You're like old trucks. You're like apple pie.
Okay.
Joel is now a Baker Mayfield lover, and I love it. I love it.
It depends on the drive for me with him.
But you said
it's like, Kyle Trask, where you at? Put your helmet on.
I don't know. Hearing you talk good about Baker Mayfield makes me feel good for some reason.
Regardless if he's good or not, like
too.
he's American. He's the beauty of America.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
I think it's my turn to pick mac and cheese. And here's the thing about mac and cheese. You want it to be good. There might be an auntie or your mom or maybe your grandma that makes it the best, and you really don't want mac and cheese from somebody else because it gets overcooked, or they use the wrong noodles. Like, noodles are so important with mac and cheese. So you want it to be good. You don't want it to be bad. I want Devin White to be really good. He's my mac and cheese, and when he's good, I mean, he's the best linebacker in the league. But, sometimes he can be bad. When, your weird aunt makes it, weird aunt from New Jersey or something. Or, like, the Midwest.
That's fair. No, that's a good, I like it. I think I'm going to go, all right, okay. I want to do dinner rolls, but I'm not set on one. But I do have my sweet potato casserole. I think sweet potato casserole is delicious. It's awesome. It's not one of your go-tos, but like when you see sweet potato casserole on the plate, you're like, I gotta get some of that. And that reminds me of Braden Point and the way he plays. Some of the goals he scores, I'm like, man, I gotta get me some of that. Pause. But I think he's sweet. I think his moves are like sweet potato casserole. They make you want to get it. They are awesome. He scores goals. He's not one of the top two that you look for on the Lightning, but he's fire. He's sweet and awesome, and I like Braden Point as my sweet potato casserole.
I'm a sweet potato casserole hater, and I'm also a Manuel Margot hater.
Okay, all right.
I think I gotta go sweet potato cast too, because I'm also a hater of it. I think it looks like it should be good. Like, it looks like it should be just like
marshmallows on it.
Dude, I love sweet potato casserole.
I don't know. My family personally doesn't put marshmallow on it.
You got it, man. It's the only good part.
But I don't like it. I just think it should taste like pumpkin pie, and it doesn't. So I equivalent that to sports. Like, I think they should be good, but they really aren't. And for me, that's Tanner Janot.
Okay.
I think, you really expect what the Lightning did. They traded so many picks for him, and he was kind of like one of the best players on Nashville. And it's like, well, he hasn't impressed me. And the Lightning have made so many great picks and great trades where it's like this one, it's like, should be better. It should be better, but it's not.
So, for dinner rolls, I am one who I love dinner rolls. And it's kind of like people look at me like, why are you eating so many rolls right now? And I'm kind of like, I just love this bread right now. I'm eating it. So I'm kind of thinking of a player that I love, that I think I love a little bit more than a lot of other people. My reasoning. So, what do I... we might trade him. And he might be sad. And I feel like a lot of people are okay with trading him. But I'm just hating the idea of it. And I just love watching this guy pitch. So I'm going to say Tyler Glasnow is my dinner rolls. I love watching that curveball. When he's on, it's beautiful. I love it. I want to see him pitch all the time. And I think some people are like, why do you like Tyler Glasnow so much? And that's how I feel about how people think about me and dinner rolls. So I'm saying Tyler Glasnow.
Mm-hmm. Handsome guy, man.
Oh, he is handsome.
I love the consistency of a dinner roll. Even a bad dinner roll is pretty good. The only time a dinner roll is not good is when it's gluten-free. And the only time Vazzy's bad is last year. But other than that, he's really good.
It's true.
That's a good one, too.
Stuffing. This is the hardest one for me because I don't like stuffing. I don't really understand. I don't understand what it is. Like, what is it?
It's like wet bread.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even think I've actually physically tasted it.
I'm too
I don't think I
scared.
know the taste of it, and I've gone my whole life without knowing what it's like. And it just looks gross. I'm not going that route. I gotta think of this one. I was gonna be like, who's the ugliest Tampa Bay sports?
Honestly, I kind of like that.
Andre Palat is the ugliest Tampa Bay.
I knew that was gonna be one. I knew that was gonna be one.
Unwarranted Andre Palat shots in this episode. That's crazy. 2 of them.
You know what? Okay, can I go outside the box a little bit for this one?
That's the point.
You know what? Stu Sternberg, you are stuffing.
Yeah.
We don't know. Do you like the Rays? Do you hate them? Do you want to win? Do you want to win? Are you willing to do what it takes to win, or do you just not care? Are you going to sell the team? Are you not? What's stuffing? What is it?
I like that.
That was great.
That's
hard to follow that one up. Oh, Ham. I love you so much, Ham. You're the favorite part of my holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I want to send this message out to Devontae David. I love you. You've been so consistent in my life, just like Ham.
That's a good one.
You're the best.
Do you want to go, or you have 2 more, right?
I got to go. I got 3 more, and everyone else has.
Oh, so you go, then I'll go, because I think I got one more.
I got
right?
one more. I've been trying to check
I think I got skipped. Hold up, I'll give you guys 2. Hold up, I have ham stuff. Okay, I kind of like stuffing, and it was kind of like surprising to me how much I like stuffing. And when I think of stuffing, I think of gritty. Think of someone who's like a gritty. It's just you didn't expect it to be good. Kind of like Baker Mayfield on the Bucs. You didn't expect you kind of like, oh, I don't know, this looks weird. I don't like to. Oh, he's kind of good. I'll get some of this. I get some of this, and you don't know if you want more. Just like we don't know if we want more Baker Mayfield. We're still on the fence, but you're thinking like I should probably get some more stuffing, and I'm thinking we should probably get some more Baker Mayfield. So for that reason, I'm giving Baker Mayfield as my stuffing, and then I will, I'm kind of on the same page as Joel for this ham thing. Levante Davis is a good pick, but I think I'm going to go Yandy Diaz for my ham. Every time, ham's consistent. I really like it, especially on Thanksgiving with a little bit of warm ham. You know what I'm saying? Like fresh ham. That's good. And also, like, sometimes I eat ham on Thanksgiving, and it's a little better than I remember. And I'm like, this is pretty good. And that's kind of how Yandy Diaz was last year. He was kind of better than I thought he was going to be, and he's gotten better and better, just like kind of how ham gets better and better as you grow up. So I'm taking Yandy Diaz as my ham.
All right, I think green beans is my last one.
Yes.
I'm gonna go outside the players of the team too. Let's say Kevin Cash. Like Kevin Cash here and there can be a little salty, a little bit unexpected. Like sometimes you take a bite of green beans and you're like, there was a little bit of ham in that bite. I wasn't expecting that. So Kevin Cash, like. You got a little bit more attitude than I remember.
There's a
sometimes.
hair in green beans. Why do you pull Blake Snell out?
Yeah,
Game 6.
The ham is Blake Snell pulling.
Yeah,
that's
that was a bit of a shocker there. I didn't expect that one.
You like bacon and green beans? I know some people do.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, I'm eating green beans for the pig.
Yeah. Well, that's like it also like makes the green beans taste better too. So I'm all in on that, even though I'm not all in on green beans.
Yeah, I'm a green bean casserole guy. That's my favorite dish, actually. I can't even lie. I already forgot who I said, but if I said it was them, it's really... Oh, Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield. So that was... You're special. Baker, you're listening right now. Like, that's the highest compliment I can give you.
You're his green bean casserole.
You're my green bean casserole. But somebody who's also dear to my heart for my apple pie. This is my last one. I think apple pie, it's sweet. It's so good. Sometimes it takes a while to prepare. Sometimes it might be stuck in the minor leagues. Sometimes it might struggle in the bigs. But when when they're on the field and, when it's really done right, they're so special. And that is Josh Lowe after this year. From the chiseled jawline, I mean, just a gorgeous, the way he runs around the bases.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And he's just so handsome. Like, he's just a great looking guy. And he's just so chiseled in person. Like, you see him up close and you're like, wow. Like, how can you be that chiseled? Like, you're giving Yandy Diaz a run for his money. Like, just the physique. So, yeah, just a great guy. And especially offensively, his production, like, I think teams are wishing, like, he was somebody they never met because just the way he's able to bat and steal. It's a pitching nightmare. Man,
he looks like he could be like your best friend. Like, that's how I feel.
He's just a great guy. I just can't stop talking about Josh Lowe. So that's it. He's my apple pie.
So for my apple pie, I think it's a great answer. My apple pie, I think apple pie is really consistent, man. It's been there for a while. Even if you're not a big pie guy, you eat some apple pie and you're like, this is good. And it's in all shapes and sizes. But sometimes you eat apple pie and it's special. Like, you see something, and sometimes maybe you eat apple pie and it will drop the ball a little bit, if you will. It'll be a little cold. It won't be good. Maybe it's a cheap one from McDonald's, even though those are normally good. But most of the time you eat apple pie, it's really good. And sometimes it's special. And this is just like Mike Evans. Sometimes he's going to drop a pass, but the next time he gets a pass, he's going to score a touchdown. Just like the next time you get apple pie, it's going to be delicious. And he's been doing it for so long, 1,000 yards receiving in all of his years, just like apple pie has been killing the game every holiday for years and years. So that's why Mike Evans is my apple pie.
And sometimes like, people can drop the ball with apple pie, like McDonald's. Checkers didn't drop the ball with apple pie.
They got good ones
until they dropped the ball and stopped serving them.
Wait, Joel, hey, Will, what was your mashed potatoes?
Oh, I don't think I did it.
Okay.
I think you might have even said, one of you guys might have said it actually. Mashed potatoes for me, they're so good warm. I like a little bit of garlic in it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, like even a baked potato, I think if you eat it with butter, sometimes it tastes like lobster to me. But potatoes have to be warm for me to even touch it, because if potatoes get cold, I get disgusted. And I think it's kind of like the same thing with Brandon Lau.
You already said Brandon Lau for ham.
You don't like for ham. This is what I'm saying. Brandon Lau with ham, I liked him because he was hot and cold. I also feel the same way about Isaac Paredes. So he's my mashed potatoes because he's a masher. He led the team in home runs, right? This was the most in his career in a single season. So he's a masher, mashed potatoes. Yeah, Isaac Paredes. I love him when he's hot because hitting all those left field home run dongs, can't get enough of it. But I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes,
I hope you like this little segment.
We'll have a little graphic hopefully out with our feast, and we'll play, and you give us our answers. Your answers are probably going to be completely different than our answers, and that's what we're looking for. But thank you. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. And speaking of Thanksgiving, we're headed up to a huge Thanksgiving weekend in college football, as Thanksgiving weekend, sadly, is the last weekend for the college football season, and there's a whole lot of things that need to be sorted out. First off, we'll start off with your USF Bulls who need to sort out bowl eligibility, as they were not able to do it this past weekend against the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. Meep, meep.
It was fun seeing that in the Alamo Dome.
Yes, the Alamo Bowl, it's a great venue. However, it was not a great venue for USF, as they lose this game 49-21, and they hung in there at the beginning, but the offense got really stagnant. And I don't mean to bring up a TB3 meme or reference, but this game, I'm going to say it, this wasn't Chef Golesh. This was Chief Golesh. And if you know what I'm talking about, you're a real fan.
Say it again.
It's not Chef Golesh, it's Chief Golesh this game. I don't even think Joel knows what we're talking about.
No, I don't. Don't worry, guys, I'm out of the loop.
In one of the episodes.
No. In the thumbnail where we have Chef Golesh.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact episode though.
whatever that thumbnail is, it says Chief Golish, not Chef Golish.
Oh,
That's what it
hey,
was.
that's
this game.
one of the, Chef and Chief are some hard
No,
words
it's
for
hard.
me to
No,
spell.
I'm with you too. Like I didn't even notice it, but that is what I think about this game because his play calling this game, I'm gonna say it was very questionable. I did not like what they were doing. I think they were running the ball way too much right in the middle. They were not able to get their offense going. They only scored 21 points off of a decent UTSA defense, but no, they should have been much more in this game. And this was a kind of a wake up call for the Bulls, I'd say.
Yeah, this was frustrating because look, like we said, UTSA they're going in 7-3. They're a really good team, right? But we just want to see the Bulls be competitive, and we want to see that defense kind of step up. So one thing I think again, the defense totally let them down, and then this offense could not get it going. Looked really sloppy. He looked sloppy. I think Byron Brown might have been his worst game of the year. Might have been. I just think he was making some bad throws. Threw 2 interceptions. Didn't like what I saw. I really didn't. And you're not out of bowl contention. But you would have liked to have your 6th win, your bowl-eligible win, to be somebody good.
Oh, it would have been huge.
This would have been a huge thing for the program. Also, so annoyed. I felt like, hey, ESPN2, was this the UTSA broadcast? Because they would not shut up about Frank Harris.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterback for UTSA. Give...
Like 29 years old.
I know. And it's like, oh, it's so special for him. I've never heard of this guy, okay? I've never heard of him. They're acting like he had this great career at UTSA. What'd they do?
No New Year's
They really
Bowls.
did paint that picture because I
Did
was
they
like,
even-
yeah, this guy must be great.
They acted like he was a legend. Tom Brady signing off.
For that school, but
But
not really.
But it's like, you're a legend. Did you go to the American Athletic Championship?
Well, to be fair, this is their first year in the American.
Okay, well, where were they last year? The Sun Belt?
Yeah, I think they won. I think they were Key USA, Conference USA, and I
Conference
think they won
USA.
it. But they haven't gone to a bowl, a near 6 bowl, and that's what I look for, man.
We'll have to get the intern to look up the stats on that. But I'm just saying, it's like, it just made me mad. I hate when it's like, okay, if you somehow happen to watch somebody else's broadcast, okay, who cares if they talk about their team? It's just unfortunate. It's usually the result of legally streaming a sports game, which we don't do, but that's just an example. But it was ESPN2, can we talk about the Bulls? They're having a great year. They were 1-11 last year, and they're on the cusp of a bowl eligible season, and all it was Frank Harris. So that was kind of annoying. That's my pet peeve of the game.
I agree.
This game just stung. Being up 14-7, it was like, hey, we might actually got a shot here. We might be doing this. And then for their UTSA to get 35 unanswered, oh my gosh,
brutal. Yeah,
I kind of tuned out and then came back in, and I was like, oh, it's even worse.
Yeah, I was tuning out of this one. I'm sorry, guys, but this was, USF offense got nothing going. USF defense allowed 643 total yards, including 500 from Frank Harris. So, I mean, he's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but I agree, way too much bias on that broadcast. But, I mean, this was a tale of a team playing a bad game and your program's just not at the level of UTSA right now. UTSA has been on the come-up and has had 2 or 3 really good years in a row, and USF's just starting to get back to, playing good football consistently, and they just, on the road, with not everything going right, they just weren't able to hang, man, unfortunately.
Yeah,
some dome field advantage in the Alamo Dome.
Dome. We know a thing or two about dome field advantage.
Yeah, we know how that helps totally.
It helps sometimes, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just a point. Look, I didn't expect them to win. I didn't, but I didn't expect it to be as lopsided. And like you said, they were up 14-7, and then to give up 21 straight in the second quarter. And then the third quarter, right off the rip, giving up 2 touchdowns, just frustrating.
It was a really mad game for USF. It was not the game we were looking for.
Yeah.
We were looking for a big, fun Friday night game. USF shows off at least some fight and some, shows off Byron Brown and what the USF Bulls could be in the years to come. But this is a bad game for the USF.
Yeah, you just want to look when you don't expect your teams to win. Because if you're a fan, and we know you guys are fans listening of teams, if you don't ever expect your team to lose, you're delusional, right? So, like, we expected them to lose, but what you want to see is competitiveness, and I think that's what they lacked. And I think Alex Golish has done a good job of that throughout the year, staying competitive. Had a couple slip-ups here and there, but, like, at this point in the season, you should have been competitive. Your team is a lot more experienced. I know there's a lot of freshmen, young guys, but your team has experience. This is the 11th game of the year. So it's just frustrating. It is frustrating how this turned out.
Yeah, and I mean, it sets up a huge game. I mean, the definition of a must-win game for USF at home in Ray J against Charlotte, the 49ers. This is a team that they're decent. They're in an American Conference, but USF is a better team. They need to win this game. They have to stop the quarterback run. I don't remember the Charlotte quarterback's name, but I know when they played Florida, he was a little bit dangerous running. So USF needs to limit the yard. They can't let Charlotte score 50. You just can't let that happen. You want to hold them to under 30. That would be ideal. But your offense is good. You're going to get some points, and you just have to play complementary football in this game. It's a huge game.
Yeah, and this Charlotte team, they're not good by any means. They are 3-8. But I love their head coach. If you haven't seen him, he is one of the all-time most interesting men. He came from Michigan. Biff Poggi wears cut-off sleeves, cut-off sleeve shirts, kind of ripped in the front, just pure Americana. That's a ball coach right there.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll get that team to play. He can get his boys to play. They're a young program. They're kind of like USF, a little bit behind. But this is not an easy game. It isn't going to be a lopsided affair. This team's going to come, and they're going to want to get you out of bowl contention. So you got to be able to weather the storm. You got to shut down that offense. You can't, like you said it exactly right, you cannot give 50 points a game to a team like this. So you got to shut them down on defense. And your offense got to get clicking. It was a little bit of a rough game this week, but we've seen the offense score some video game-esque points. So this game is at 7:30 p.m. on ESPNU.
Yeah, and you look at Charlotte, they've had a lot of ups and downs. They lose to Maryland 38-10. 38-20. Sorry, 38-20. That's by no means a really solid Maryland team. By no means a bad loss. They lose to Florida 22-7. That's very respectable in the Swamp. That was when Florida had some hope and aspirations for their lives. Oh, how it's changed. And then they lose to Navy, which is in this era is a bad loss. They got pummeled by FAU, but so did USF. Charlotte actually goes to overtime against Memphis. They lose that game 44-38 in overtime. So
Biff Poggi will get his boys to play. He'll get them to play.
And looking at their schedule, the bigger games, the better they've played. So this is, I don't know what Ray J is going to be like Saturday night, but if USF, you got to be
at home or on the road.
It's at Ray J, and you have to be ready to play. You have to. This is a playoff game. This is a must-win game. You have to come out with some urgency and let these seniors go to a bowl game after all they've had to endure under this program. Let this be a huge win to propel your program. It's right in front of you. All you have to do is win one game, then you get to go to a bowl game and get to reap the rewards of all the hard work you've done all season and in the preseason and in the off season. So you have to come out and play like everything depends on this game, because for USF and the program and the football program, it does. This is a huge, huge game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Have we said our piece on the Bulls?
I think so. Let's predict.
Yeah. So I think we look at it last week. Last week, what did we say? We all said UTSA across the board. Joel, said 41-27. Colby said 45-42. I said 42-41
We thought it was going to be close, guys. We're wrong.
So, Joel, you were pretty close there with the score.
Close.
But what are you saying this week?
Game. I'm going to go shootout. I think if the Bulls are going to win this game, they're going to have to win it by a big score. And I'm going with some Bulls bias today. I don't know if they can win this game, but that doesn't mean I'm going to say they're going to lose. So I'm going to go big score here. Shootout, 41-34 Bulls.
All right.
I like it. Yeah, I believe in the Bulls. This has been a fun team to watch all year through the ups and downs, what they've been able to accomplish in a short time when everything looked grim, when you had no idea how Alex Golish was going to be, no idea how Byron Brown was going to be. And this team, through the ups and downs, they have turned so much around, and they've changed the culture at USF. And I think the best is yet to come. And it starts by a win on Saturday night against Charlotte. They're going to win 38-17. I think the defense is going to play lights out. They're going to get them going. They want the bowl game. They want it more. It's bowling season for the Bulls, baby. Bulls to the bowl.
Yep. I think I couldn't have said it any better, Will. I think you're right, man. This is such a huge game for the program, and there's been some huge games this season, and honestly, USF has been able to show up for these games. Please, tickets are $5. If you got time on Saturday night, I know there's a different game that some of you might be going to, but those tickets are expensive. If you're around Tampa, you got nothing to do. Just go to the game, man. Give these guys an environment that pushes them forward even more. This is a huge game for them, and I think I'm gonna take USF 35-24.
We're a bunch of hypocrites here. We're probably not going, but watch it on your phone.
But we're going to the bowl game, and we've already been to a game. Okay.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of money to go to that game.
We're preaching to this audience. Go to this game, man. It's not like Florida State on at the same time.
Sorry, we got the Sunshine
We have
Showdown.
to
I said
watch-
if you're not watching. I said if you're not.
And
if you're around
dude,
the
does
area.
that mean if there's a certain other game on that I'm not watching it?
That's what I'm saying. Watch on your phone.
We are the sports media. We're TB3. We can't be at a game. We're missing out on other stuff. We have so much stuff on the show to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So like we can't really go to the game.
All right. I checked for their defense. It sounds good. All right.
There's really an excuse. We have to cover it to give you guys content. We got to work on stuff. So we have to be able to watch both games at once. That being said, the next team in the totem pole is your Florida Gators.
Man, I don't even want to talk about this, guys. Absolute heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, just sad game on Saturday as the Florida Gators headed into Columbia, Missouri, and participated in an absolute dogfight. The effort was much better, and the Florida Gators come out with an early 7-3 lead, and we're feeling good. However, Missouri would score the next 10 points of that half and head into halftime with a 13-7 lead. And then the game got crazy as the Gators come out and score on their first possession, 14-13. Then Missouri answers 20-14. And then the Gators are able to answer back. This is back and forth stuff here by the Florida Gators as they would score again. They would make it 21-20. And then Missouri would go right back down the field, but this time they'd only kick a field goal. And the Missouri Tigers would go up 23-21. And then the Florida Gators would drive all the way down the field. But on a third down play, Graham Mertz, looking for the first down, running, boom! Trucks two defenders, converts it, first down Gators. Next play, handoff. But there's a problem. We have Mr. Graham Mertz holding his collarbone, and on the play where he trucked two Missouri defenders, he also fractured his collarbone, and unless there's a crazy thing that happens with a bowl game, that is his season. Respect to you, Mr. Graham Mertz. You played your heart out. But the Gators are not done this game. As Max Brown, the backup quarterback, comes in, and he plays pretty well. He gets the Gators down to the red zone. However, the inexperience kicks in as an exchange between him and Trevor Etienne is fumbled, and Missouri pounces on it, and the Gators squander an opportunity. And then immediately after, the Missouri Tigers, on a huge play by Theo Weiss, a short reception turned into a long touchdown, puts them up 30-21. However, the Gators were just fighting Saturday night. They were truly fighting. I have to give them credit for that. As they drive all the way down, including a fourth down conversion, Max Brown drives him down the field, his first real game, and Trevor Etienne runs in for a touchdown to cut the lead to 30-28. And then the Gators defense bears down and actually gets a stop, forces Missouri to punt, And then the Gators, a long drive or a couple-minute drive, they get down in the field goal range, and with a minute or so left, a minute 30 left, the Gators take the lead on a field goal. It's 31-30. Can they hold on? No, they can't. As the Missouri Tigers start getting down the field, they get a first down. However, a false start and a tackle for loss brings them back. An incomplete pass happens, and another one. And it's 4th and 17. All the Gators have to do to get out of here with a win is stop them on 4th and 17. However, the Gators decide that we're not covering them on 4th and 17, as Luther Burden runs right down the seam, stops about 2 yards past the line to gain. Brady Cook throws it. He's wide open. First down. And then the Missouri Tigers continue to get chunk yards, get all the way down into nearly the red zone, and let their kicker, the thicker kicker, get a game-winning field goal. And the Missouri Tigers win this game 33-31.
I'm sorry you had to go through this, man.
It's one of the worst Gator games in recent memory, honestly. It was brutal. Brutal game.
Not a good week for starting quarterbacks in the state of Florida.
Nope. We'll get into that, but yes.
Yeah. I didn't expect the Gators to win, but honestly, I think I feel bad because you go in, Missouri has all the hype. They're number 9? They're number 9. You go into Columbia, and you've had a tough season, and you could have easily laid over in this game. And the Gators fought the entire game. You lose your quarterback. You're still in it. You still have a chance to win. That's frustrating. It's frustrating for Mertz, frustrating for the Gators. And I know there's no moral victories. There never is in sports, but you got to commend them because with the season they've had, the ups and downs, to go in there and play the game they did, you got to give the Gators credit, man. Stinks that you lose. But you really handed it to a team that everybody's saying, one loss here, one loss to LSU, and one loss to Georgia. They really could be one of the best teams in the nation. But it is what it is.
Yeah, frustrating game. I mean, defense kind of comes to play in the first half, holds them to 13 points in the half. We'll take that all day long, but the offense kind of slows down. And then, obviously, in teams that I root for fashion, the offense comes to play in the second half, and the defense kind of goes away. They do get a huge stop, and they had a couple huge breakups. But, 4th and 17 on the last drive is absolutely unacceptable. It just can't happen. It's a reflection on the defense, on the secondary, and also on Austin Armstrong. I don't know what. We had a linebacker, about 12 yards deep, and he's just in no man's land. No one's covering, and the pass went right over his head because he's out of position. It's horrible defense. It's undisciplined. And it just can't happen. I know this is a moral victory. I agree, but you're at a point where you have to win a game to go to a bowl game. You needed to get this win, and you just didn't get it. You weren't able to make enough plays. You tried. The effort was better. I agree. And this is 3 games in a row where the Gators really found a way to lose. Arkansas game was they should have won that game easily. LSU game, it was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, and then the defense goes away. Well, it was already away, but the offense goes away, and the defense allows LSU to score on 2 plays. This game, it was a back-and-forth affair, and you just find a way to let them convert on 4th and 17. I think the drive before where the Gators got the field goal, the Gators seemed kind of content to make Missouri use their timeouts and kick the field goal. I would have liked to see Billy kind of try to win it with your offense. I think you know how bad your defense is, and with a 1-point lead where a field goal can win it for them, I didn't feel comfortable. So I think I would have liked to see a couple different play calls there, but still, 4th and 17, you had them right where you wanted them. There was no reason for that to happen, and it happened.
Yeah, you really got to make that stop. I think that's one thing that's frustrating for the Gators. I feel like to start the year, the defense was really good, and the offense couldn't figure it out. And now I feel like we've gotten to the point where offense has played really well. A lot of that you have to give credit to Graham Mertz. I think a lot of people were hard on him. He threw I think it was like 20 interceptions in like the season beforehand at Wisconsin. So people were hating on him. People were really hating on him. But he's come in. He's been a game manager. And, yeah, it's like you just wish the defense could figure out, because that team really could have. This team was in every game. There's really not. I mean, even the Georgia game, you never really felt like Georgia. You never, but you know what I'm saying. You never felt like Georgia, like, oh man, they're just dominating. The Gators shouldn't even be on the same field. You know what I'm saying? It's like they were still in it. But it's just their defense has slowly fizzled out. Their offense has gotten better. Same thing with like Arkansas. Like, just look how good their offense played that game, and the defense couldn't get it done. So yeah, it's been frustrating for them.
This game stinks, but the crazy thing, like, this is just me talking here, but I think it gives them even more fuel to win this upcoming week.
I agree with that. I honestly feel like they're due, man. Like, I feel like they've been playing so. It's hard. FSU is a really good opponent, as much as I hate that, but they're a really good team. They're a really good opponent. You don't want it to be this is your only opportunity, but you do feel like the Gators are due, man. I mean, they're on a 4-game losing streak. And, I mean, in all 4 of those games, there's moments where you felt like there's no way the Gators lose this game. And I agree. There could be more fuel. I know the Swamp's going to be electric. So, I don't know. I don't know how this impacts the thing. Obviously, you're going in with a backup quarterback now. But it's a different look for sure.
Like, this changes my perspective on the game for sure. Now I'm like, ooh, this could be a bit of a coin flip.
Because backup quarterback Max Brown is much more athletic than Graham Mertz. He got a couple of huge runs towards the end of that game. So this is going to be kind of a more Anthony Richardson type offense this week, as opposed to the one we've been seeing this year. So it could be something that could catch FSU off guard.
All right. You said your piece, because I think we're going to save the game talk here for a second. But yeah,
good to go,
going back to the predictions, Joe and Colby said the Gators. Jolie said 34-31.
We were all around it,
Colby
dude.
said 35-31. I said Missouri 38-27.
We were all over the wrong side.
Yeah. It was close. Yeah, you guys, that was good on you guys. I'm telling you, somebody's going to get it. Maybe it's this week, but oh man. I just don't want to do this. We're going to talk next about your number 5 Florida State Seminoles, and to keep it brief, Florida State won. They played North Alabama. That's an FCS school. They were 3-7, so now they're 3-8. They're not a great team.
They were down pretty early in that game, though, right?
It was 13-3.
It was
they were down 13-0, but there was some circumstances that affected that, and that was that Jordan Travis scrambles, runs up the field, and gets tackled, and his leg gets rolled up on. And if you were watching the game, or if you haven't seen it, it's pretty gruesome. To me, I don't know if they haven't come out with the injury report. I don't think it's a spiral fracture of his tibia and fibia, but I do for sure is a dislocated ankle, probably with a couple torn ligaments, and that requires you gotta get a metal plate in your ankle. It's about a month, probably not walking on it at all, and then probably looking at like 3 months of physical therapy. So that means he's out for the season. He is out for the season, and that was his. Fortunately, that was senior day for Florida State. That was senior day, and he goes out in the first quarter of his last game at Doak Campbell Stadium, and it's tough. It is. I wasn't even watching the game. I was up in Michigan. One of my dear friends was getting married, and I just got a text on my phone from ESPN, the wedding, and of course I look at it. It says Jordan Travis is carted off the field, and he's gotten hurt before, and I was just like, well, that's concerning, but it's North Alabama. If anybody gets a scratch, they're not gonna play the rest of the game. And I go to Twitter, and the first words I see is warning, graphic injury. So that was a tough night. Saturday night was really tough because They win 58-14. They had some explosive plays, but that's it. They feel like you lost at the time. You feel like your season's over in a sense, and you're 11-0. You're 11-0, but it just felt like a loss. It felt like we lost everything, and I feel so bad for Jordan Travis. I just knowing what he came from, and I've seen the promised land. I've seen glory. I was able to watch the Seminoles win the 2013 national championship, and that's only 10 years ago. And you think, some teams have never seen it, or people have never seen their teams win. And I'm lucky. I'm truly grateful to see them win. But at the same time, it's like I've also seen how far away they were after that, and how far you feel away as a fan. You feel like it's never going to happen again. And there's so many down seasons, and he comes in 2020 and gets booed off the field. They get blown out in every single game just about. 2021, much of the same stuff. Couldn't really keep the starting job. And in 2022, man, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, like, oh, he was the truth and I was believing him. I didn't really necessarily have any faith in that team, that they were going to do anything last year. And what a season he had, and to turn it around. And now he's brought FSU back to the promised land, put him on the map, and just a journey he's been through and what he's meant to the program. He's meant to me as a fan, just watching him on Saturdays. So I guess that's really all I'll say about the game. I'd rather just get to the Sunshine State Showdown talk. But
yeah, I think first off, I got nothing but respect for Jordan Travis. Like Will said, the journey. He's been playing college football a long time, a lot of ups and downs, and to get it back to what 2022 was is a win in its own. But then to come back and be even better this year and bring FSU to where they are it's very commendable, and I hate to see it. Even if it changes the game for like my team's rooting interest, I still hate to see it. I hate to see someone work all the way to that point, and right before they get to experience the playoff, experience that, they get hurt. It sucks. And then I guess just kind of talk about it before we talk to Sunshine State. I do think, unfortunately, this kind of, I don't know if FSU could have gotten in, but this all but eliminates them. If they get any loss, there's no way they make the playoff. I think it was going to be hard with the schedule they played compared to the other one-loss teams, but I think with a backup quarterback and the schedule, I don't think there's any way they lose either one of these next games and still make the playoffs. So they're in must-win territory in my eyes.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it kind of stinks the way the season is gone in a sense. And I know it's like, well, they're 11-0, but it's like you get a huge win to start the year, but it's like it's forgotten about at this point. Nobody even remembers LSU. They're not really that good. I think it helps,
They're helping you now, though. They're coming back up.
It helps that Clemson's ranked now. They just got ranked again. They upset North Carolina. They beat Notre Dame, so their resume is a little better. But, yeah, this is kind of what they've been battling with all year. It's really like you control your own destiny. So I agree. Any loss at this point, they're definitely out. Now, I do think, even being non-biased, I just think Jordan Travis is not the Florida State Seminoles. He's their quarterback. Of course, he meant so much to that team. But I don't know what you guys think. I just think if they go 13-0, they win the ACC, I still think this team should not get jumped by a one-loss team at that point.
I don't think so either.
Because anybody who would jump them would be one loss.
I think it would be shameful. I agree. And like I said, I'm the biggest FSU hater out there, but that would be a shameful move from the committee.
It'd be disrespectful.
You can't punish the kids for an injury if they've won every game. One loss, I get it. But if they're undefeated,
and I agree too.
If they're undefeated, they would pick up another ranked win against Louisville. I mean, obviously Florida's not a quality win, but you get a little extra weight for the rivalry game and the way Florida's been playing.
But they're a good team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They play in the SEC.
And I think LSU's helping them. Clemson's helping them. You want Clemson. You need a win for Clemson against South Carolina for sure.
Need
sucks.
Louisville to beat Kentucky.
Yes, you need that. It sucks that Duke's falling off for you guys.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
Like Duke was so good at the time, and
Yeah, so
Riley Leonard broke his
Yeah.
leg fell off.
So yeah, I've heard the conversations, but I just don't think it would be fair if FSU is knocked out, even when they're undefeated.
I think the team will probably rally around this. Like that's usually how it goes with an injury like this. So there's a chance that like they might be able to fill all the holes with the success of the other parts of the team. So, I mean, they're still a shot. Like I'm not putting them to bed, but it will be more interesting down the road, going into this game with Florida.
Yeah, and speaking of down the road, we're headed from down the road from Tallahassee to Gainesville, the Sunshine Showdown in the swamp, and it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. It's going to be, we're hoping to go. We're still, seeing out the ticket market, but TB3 is hoping to correspond there. Unless something crazy happens, crazy price jumps, I think we'll make it work. However, this is a completely different game than we even looked at 2 weeks ago. Florida is down bad. Florida's down bad, 4 losses in a row, backup quarterback. However, it's rivalry week, and we know college football, the rivalries run deep, and one loss can change your whole entire season. It really can. There's sayings like, 1-11's all right if it's Florida beating Florida State, and that's truly how some people feel, and it's truly if Florida can get this win, and they're going to be dying for it. They are a desperate team right now. These seniors on the team are desperate to get the huge win. These young players are desperate to show that they are going to lead Florida back to the promised land. They are a desperate team, and I'm hoping to see them come out desperate on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it does stink. This is one game I really think, even as a Florida State fan, I was looking forward to playing against Mertz. I think he deserved it. I think this was going to be a great quarterback matchup between Jordan Travis and Graham Mertz. So we don't get it. But we will get a great game. I still think you can talk about the big game. You can talk about Texas and Oklahoma. You can talk about Iron Bowl. But Florida and Florida State, man, these teams hate each other.
We want the rivalry to get back to the early 2090s, man.
Exactly. Back when these teams were duking it out, national championships, trading off, sometimes ruining each other's seasons, number 1, number 2. One time they tied. I mean, that would have just made me lose my marbles if I was alive in the
ties, man. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm glad college changed that. But yeah, it's just a crazy rivalry, and I still think, as big as it is, it's underrated, underrated.
For sure.
This is a huge game.
Way too much recency bias. I know the last 5-10 years haven't been great, but there's still been great games. They still do not like each other. There's still teams fighting for recruits every year, and I'm thinking in the next couple of years we're going to get back to greatness for this rivalry. I'm hoping
this is kind of like, I know they're not in the same conference. Maybe they are in a couple years, and then it's really crazy.
Oh yeah.
But I want to be kind of like the 90s and like how it is with Michigan, Ohio State now. This is a battle for a playoff spot.
Yep.
So, yeah, we hope for that. It's also big. It's really important. One of the most important reasons. This is who we get to talk about next year last. Who's the best of the rest.
Yeah.
So, will it be the Gators?
If the Gators win, I'm coming into the show on next Monday or Tuesday whenever we record, and I'm gonna relish in that.
I have a little not a bet, but I'm doing something. I know everybody listens for the outros this week. Whoever wins this game, you get an intro, you play the fight song, and you end with the fight song. The whole thing, we got to listen to the whole thing. So whoever comes out on top, we're doing it. And then, next year when college football's back, you get to be the main stage, the main show, the best for last. But
Will can't afford to lose this game. His boss will never let him hear the end of it.
I will never.
This is a hard game for a person who has feet in both camps. So
it's perfect. We got a Gator, got a Seminole, and somebody
and you got a lukewarm fan.
Hey man, When they play at different times of the day, it's perfect.
Oh, I bet that is what. It's perfect for me, too, because I get to pray on FSU's downfall before I pray that the Gators don't blow it. However, let's talk some keys to this game.
Keys to the game.
Joel, I'll start with you. What do you think for keys to this game?
Whichever team rallies around their quarterback more.
Okay,
Good one.
I like it. My key to this game, like every other stinking week, is Florida. Stop the gosh darn run game. You actually did very well against Missouri. You held a good running back, Cody Schrader, to, I don't know what it was. He had a couple big runs, but the gashes were not the same like it was against Kentucky or Georgia or LSU. So we want to make Tade Rodmaker throw the ball. The Florida Gators need to stop the run game. Trey Benson, Toafili, they're dangerous. They will get off huge chunks of yards if you let them free. Stop the run game. Make this backup quarterback have to deal with the swamp. Because if you get them behind the chains and get the third down, the crowd noise is going to be a factor. I mean, FSU played a noon game in Clemson. I mean, that's not a crazy environment. They haven't seen an environment on the road like this whole season. And I know they have a lot of experience, but still. So
You're telling me Boston College?
yeah.
Boston College.
Boston College. Yeah. And Wake Forest, man. That was a crazy road game. No, on the real. So make the crowd be a factor. Stop the run, make the crowd be a factor, and give wide receivers on Florida. You are very good. Ricky Pearsall, Eugene Wilson, even the tight ends, Arliss Boardingham. You guys got to win your matchups. You got to get open for Max Brown quickly too, because if you are covered and you got to make Max Brown force tough throws, it's gonna be hard. Interceptions, maybe bad passes, stuff like that, and you want to get momentum going. And the final thing I say is, Florida is not like the Bucs. They're not good at forcing turnovers, but they somehow have to find a way to win the turnover battle. They got to get a deflection pick. They got to get a forced fumble, something like that, and they got to play clean football. Because in a rivalry game like this, when you're the underdog, you got to find a way to make plays and wreak havoc. All right. So that's what my keys for the Gators.
All right. As a Florida State fan on the panel, my keys are easy and hard. Number one, easy. You got to make it easy for your quarterback if you're Florida State. He's coming in. This is going to be tough. He's going to be in a tough environment. With that being said, you got to make it easy by boosting the run game. You have Trey Benson, Rodney Hill, Lawrence Toafili, Kysaiah Holmes. Got to get one of these guys going and got to get it early. So you set up the run, you lull Florida to sleep with the run, and then you can open up in the pass game with Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman and Jaheim Bell. I think Jaheim Bell, another big game for you. I think you really need to I think the tight end has to be the quarterback's safety net. I think that's what it is for every team. He needs to be the guy that when your big dogs are covered and the running game might not be working, you got to have a big game. So Jaheim Bell, the tight end, Kyle Morlock when he's in, make it easy for Florida State's quarterback. Now, on the opposite, make it hard. The Gators also have a backup quarterback in, but they have really good receivers. You can't let this guy scramble. You can't give him time in the pocket and have him torch you. I know Renardo Green, one of Florida State's DBs, he is a little banged up. We don't know his status for the game. But if he's out, that's Jared Verse and Patrick Payton, Kyle Farmer. You guys got to start getting a great pass rush. Fabian Lovett. What's the guy's name from? Braden Fisk, the transfer from Western Michigan. Got to be on the D-line. You cannot let this guy scramble all over and gash you. I think Florida State did a great job doing that with a similar kind of mobile quarterback this year, and that was Jaden Daniels. They were able to shut him down in the second half. He only was responsible for one touchdown in that game. I know this is a long time ago, but I think it's going to be the same kind of game where you got to keep him in the pocket and you got to put some pressure on him. That's my keys to the game. But one thing I think we have to talk about, Colby, you can go first. Let's hear about the quarterback, because we were all kind of expecting two big guys, but I think let's hear the rundown for the Gators quarterback in this game. What's he got? Where's he from? What's his strengths?
So Max Brown is a redshirt freshman. He played a little bit last year, but obviously not enough to be eligible for your full season. This is he's played, I think he played in the earlier game, but he does not have a lot of playing experience. He was back up behind Anthony Richardson, and now he was back up behind Graham Mertz. He actually was third string last year. But he is I haven't seen him a lot, but he's a very mobile quarterback, relies on his legs, and that's not only in the run game, which he is athletic, he's sneaky athletic, he's a very good runner. It's also in the pass game. He's really good, much better throwing on the run, a lot of rollouts, a lot of stuff like that. So that's going to be the key to the game. Can you get him the pocket moving? Can you get easy passes? Because they didn't let him let it loose on Saturday. All the passes he completed were short passes. They were accurate passes. I will give him that. But I don't know if he's got the same type of deep ball that Mertz had, and especially Anthony Richardson had. But the mobility is key, and something that he has to work on that is a big key to this game is his handoffs. He had a fumbled handoff against Missouri. It was completely just a bad handoff. That's what it was. And he had a couple exchanges where the timing was messed up. So this week in practice, they need to make sure that is right, because you cannot have a silly turnover like that. Or FSU's athletic. You disrupt your timing as a running back, you slow them down, you're going to get tackled for a 3-yard loss. That's the fact. So handoffs are a big key. He did a really good job in the zone read, broke off a couple big runs, so we're going to see a little zone read action, I am sure. And so moving the pocket and zone read, I think that's what the recipe for this game is.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess it's time to talk about the Florida State quarterback. That would be Tate Rodemaker. I'll give you a brief summary. It's kind of a fun story. You'll hear some things that are interesting. It's a fun story. So anyways, Tate Rodemaker, he was a freshman in 2020, committed to South Florida. He was going to be the South Florida Bulls quarterback. Mike Norvell, however, convinced him in 2020. He said, hey, I'm coming to Florida State. I want you to be a quarterback. Let's see how you do. Join the team. So he flips from USF to Florida State. And he gets his first action that season as a true freshman against none other than Jacksonville State. And after throwing 3 interceptions, going down 17-0 to Jacksonville State, he is benched, and Jordan Travis takes the reins. And we don't see Tate Rodemaker until September 16th of 2022. This was last year. Let me take you back to 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the second quarter. Jordan Travis is rolling out. He's scrambling, and he is tackled from behind by Yaya Diaby.
Wow.
And he injures himself and is out for the rest of the game. And who comes in? That is Tate Rodemaker. Okay? The Florida State Seminoles are down in this game. They struggled. Jordan Travis threw a pick, and as soon as Tate Rodemaker comes in the game, he also throws a pick, but he finds a way in the second half. Florida State comes back and wins that game 35-31. Tate Rodemaker went 6 for 10, 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we know the rest of the story. Jordan Travis came back, and Florida State had a great season in 2022. But now it's Tate Rodemaker's time. I think you'll see something different that you'll see from him. I think you'll see the ability for Florida State to stretch the ball down the field a little bit easier. I think he has a better arm than Jordan Travis, and I think, honestly, he's a little more accurate. However, what you're not going to see is what you saw last year, where Jordan Travis can scramble all over the field and not get touched. You're not going to see that. If Tate Rodemaker holds onto the ball too long, which sometimes he's had an issue with, he's going to take a big sack. He does not have the escapability of Jordan Travis. With that being said, I think one thing that is going to be the difference maker is how well he can throw the ball, because I think it's a little underappreciated. And like I said, this guy's been here since 2020. He's had 3 years under his belt. He's been the backup. Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of reps, but he's been in some big games, and he's been in games where he was down and he was able to compose himself and come back. Now, this isn't Louisville, which they will play in 2 weeks in the ACC Championship. This is a Florida Gators in the swamp in Gainesville, where they want nothing more than to ruin your night. So I think, like I said earlier, you got to make it easier for him. But I also think you can stretch the ball on the defense with the receivers you have and his ability to throw the ball. So that's my rundown of Tate Rodemaker. And
I think we get to it.
I think we get to it, man. I think we'll start with Mr. Neutral. Mr. Switzerland.
Hey, man, I'm a Mr. Enjoy all of college football on your Saturday.
So I'm probably going too high on the score here, but I like high scoring games. I'm gonna go 33-24 Seminoles.
All right. That's not really a high-scoring game.
I mean, for backup quarterbacks.
Hey, you're still a Florida defense. I'll go. We'll keep it. FSU.
This is the last.
Hey,
this could be the last time we do it. So.
Could be the same thing, but so I'm going with the win-win route. I'm going to pick FSU, and if the Gators win, I'll just be happy, and if the Gators lose, I get a point. So I'm going to go FSU. I think it could happen. I don't know for sure. If we were for sure going to the game, I think I might pick Florida, but we're not for sure going yet.
That's right.
So,
that's actually concerning.
So I'm going to say FSU wins this game 34-31. Classic game. Gators don't go bowling, but that's all right.
I'm actually kind of shocked. I really thought I was going to hear something that was going to scare me and make me feel terrible about this game. But this could be the last time, man. This really could be the last time I get to talk about Florida State. I get to brag about the 2022 state champs. Next year's the Florida Cup, by the way. The Florida Cup.
Yeah.
Because everybody plays each other, yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah, they're back in the day. For those of you who don't know, they gave out like an actual giant trophy called the Florida Cup because I think they all used to play each other. That's Florida State, and Miami. Now Florida and Miami don't play each other as much. And who knows, Florida State might not play Miami that much anymore either. But, I mean, who cares about Miami, right? Anyways, man, so I'm going to do it big. I think you got to win for 13. Finish for 13. You've gone this far. There's no reason to quit now. You can do this. You can do this. There's still hope. You never know. Nobody thought in 2014, Ohio State would win it all. And they had a third-string quarterback. 4 seed. Nobody believed in them, and they won the whole darn thing. So as they say in Major League Baseball with Charlie Sheen, let's just win this whole frickin' thing. Give me Florida State. 29, Florida 23. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. I'm not going to like it. I'm going to probably give myself a fever towards the end of the third quarter. But I think Florida State does it, but it's going to be a good game. And that's what we'd like to see, right?
Yeah, I will say, though, if you're a Florida fan or an FSU hater, this is the night. If you want FSU out of the playoff, this is the night. They're not losing to Louisville next week. Louisville is fraudulent. But Florida at the Swamp could be a recipe for it. I really do believe the Gators have a shot. I just don't believe enough in it. If they have won either of these last 2 games, if they were 6 wins right now, I'm taking to Florida right now. And also if I knew I was going to the game. But it's going to be a good game. It's going to be electric.
Anything can happen.
Oh, anything can happen. It's rivalry week, baby. So, yeah, just know that. 7 p.m.
7 p.m. ESPN, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. So that's even more like, I'm going to get the jitters just thinking about it. It is going to be, man.
Beautiful.
Oh, I'm nervous.
That's
I'm nervous.
I'm excited.
I think because we did the game, we'll brief for our recap. But
we don't
have to brief.
We don't even have to do all of them.
Yeah, well, there's not much I'm gonna say. Like there's any concerns about Michigan heading in the game? Close game against Maryland. Maryland's a solid team though.
Yeah, I mean, I just think
Michigan wins, man. That's all.
You can't cheat anymore, so it's a little closer. But I think
like the Astros, man. Cheating didn't help them.
Yeah, it really didn't. I just think
the Astros won though. Michigan did not.
I just think they got a little ahead of themselves. They were feeling high after Penn State, and then they let a bad team kind of hang around.
J.J. McCarthy, 2 bad games in a row. I don't know if he's going to bounce back, but
I don't think they're that good. I think they're better than Ohio State, but I think Michigan are frauds. I think they've been frauds since they started being good.
That's what you got to hope. That's who you have to hope. Hope FSU plays a Big Ten team.
Yes, that's the hope. My real quick. My preferred playoff standings at the end of the day, it would be Michigan 1, Florida State 4, Georgia 2, and Washington 3. That would be, creme de la creme. That would be the perfect outcome, in my opinion, for Florida State.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, Louisville hangs on. Tough game against Miami. Hard Rock was bumping. Not. But
they had a buy one, get two. It was BOGO earlier this year. Now it's buy one, get two free tickets.
Just atrocious. But
where we at? We should have been at that game.
That's funny. Louisville, that actually would have been kind of fun. Louisville, their quarterback did not have it, but they hung in there. Big win for them. I don't know about Louisville. I think if they were any other conference, they're like a 7-win team. I'm sorry, but
it's their quarterback that's bad.
Their quarterback.
You know what kind of quarterback they need to be good. They need somebody like
Lamar.
Yeah, they need somebody like Lamar.
But this is like their best record like ever through 11 games. So good for them. Good for Jeff Brom. He's a good coach. I think Louisville. This is the start. I think they will be better in the future. Honestly, because Louisville's kind of bumping. They got Jack Harlow. They got all this thing. They've got good uniforms. They're going to be good. We move on. Oklahoma barely escapes the Mormons of BYU. Some legendary calls in that game, but Oklahoma's not very good. Oklahoma's BYU's not good.
I was disappointed. They're kind of good last year, and I thought they'd be like a surprise Big 12 team, but they're terrible.
No, I don't think so. Then Arizona absolutely demolishes Utah, knocking them out of the top 25 and giving. We can talk about Arizona, but this loss for Utah means Oregon now currently has 0 wins over ranked teams. So they have Oregon ranked over Texas and Alabama, but I think it's a little bit bad.
Wow,
bad
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. I still think they could easily get in if they beat Washington.
They can, but I'm just saying, if Oregon wins, it's going to be interesting because do you pick a one-loss Texas in the Big 12 with a Big 12 championship and a non-conference against Alabama and a win probably over Oklahoma, who Oklahoma plays TCU this year.
They still win.
No, I'm saying, but that'll be another ranked win.
Yeah.
You got a Kansas State one. That's another ranked win. So you have 3 ranked wins over Oregon with 1 ranked win and no non-conference game. Also, another big thing in this debate is Oregon beat Texas Tech earlier this year, 38-30. Texas plays Texas Tech this year, so that'll be a common opponent for them to look at. So that'll be an interesting debate.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
And then it gets even more interesting if Alabama beats Georgia. That'll be mayhem.
That's where it scares me for Florida State because I think, let's say Florida State wins out. This is my only scenario where I think they would mess Florida State over.
If they put Georgia
if
over.
Alabama beats Georgia, they'll put Bama and Georgia in. That's the only way.
It's hard to argue about that too.
Yeah, and I think too. Dude, with Texas and Oregon, if they both win out, I think they put Oregon in because they want Pac-12 one last ride for Pac-12.
Oregon's been looking really good. Like they've been playing. Well, Oregon also has Oregon State this week, so they have a chance to get 2 in a row ranked wins.
And I think when's the last time that Pac-12 has been in the playoff? Like they're probably this is it. I think the Pac-12 team's in it no matter what.
I'm pretty sure. I know
that was like Marcus Mariota.
I'm supposed to or not supposed. I'm supposed to or not supposed to be biased, but I'm pretty sure the head of the playoff committee is Oregon's AD.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they take like a vow of silence anytime they're talking about their own team. But I'm pretty sure the chairman of the playoff committee is Oregon's AD this year. I'm pretty sure because it was the Texas Tech guy last year, but I don't know. Then Georgia kills Tennessee. Don't know how Tennessee's still ranked, but it is what it is. Tennessee scored on the first play of the game.
Do you believe Kirby Smart when he said he let Tennessee do that?
No. That dude's
Did you hear him say that?
That dude's a bona fide liar.
He's like, we wanted to see what they were going to do, so we let them score, something like that.
That dude's a bona fide liar. Like, last year, he was like, people were saying we were going to go 7-5. No one said that.
Yeah, no one said that. Made me so mad, dude.
Oh, my gosh. No one said that. And then we did mention this. Big win for Clemson over North Carolina. Puts them ranked. North Carolina is fizzling out like they've done under Mac Brown. Unfortunately, some high expectations for them, but not the results. Drake May It's got one more college game left. And
At least they take home the bell.
Yeah,
They took home the bell.
Crazy game. That was a crazy game.
was a
But
good
yeah,
game,
I mean, it's good to see Clemson good again. I like when Clemson's good.
Dabo's inevitable. He took so much crap at the beginning of this year, and he's there they are again. They're back in the top 25. You just can't get rid of them. But I still think if he doesn't use the transfer portal, eventually this will fizzle out completely.
He needs to do that. I agree. Then a game, I need to watch the highlights of this game because it was on with all the other games and I forgot it. But Kansas State comes back from 11 down in the third quarter to beat Kansas in Kansas and extend their dominance over that rivalry. I was hoping Kansas was going to pull this one out, man.
They were America's team, not Michigan. So, yeah, I was sad to see Kansas lose.
Kansas is on their third-string quarterback. That sucks for them.
Yeah.
That really does suck for them.
We need a new America's team. It can't be JMU either. They got upset.
They lost,
America's other team got upset by App State. They're only good for that, apparently, is just upsetting big teams. So
that's true. And then it was like a record-breaking college game day crowd, and they still lost. Still put them in a bowl game, though, NCAA.
Yeah, against Louisiana. Jacksonville State. Because they're undefeated, too, aren't they? Or they're at least like 11-1 too or something, but they're not allowed in a bowl game either.
Brutal. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Washington gutsy win in Corvallis. It was pouring down rain. I know that rain was cold as heck too, and it was pouring down rain in Corvallis. And Washington's defense holds on, man. That was a gutsy game.
Yeah, because Washington, they didn't score at all in the second half, and they're still able to hold on. Did you see that guy peeing in the stands?
No.
Nobody saw that video.
Dude, I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
There's just this random guy just taking a leak, like, right in the concourse. I'll have to show you guys after this.
That's so funny.
But yeah, it's just a perfect epitome of that game.
Yep. And then, so let's move on, because it's rivalry week. I've been wanting to preview these games more than recap. So,
me too.
Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, we got the
Egg Bowl.
The Egg Bowl. I love the Egg Bowl.
I like turning to the Egg Bowl if the Cowboys game stinks.
Oh, yeah.
Which it usually does.
Well, no, this one, Egg Bowl's, they're competing against 49ers Seahawks. Egg Bowl or 49ers Seahawks. Double screen that thing. But, yes, the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss, number 12, heads in to Mississippi State, into Stark Vegas.
Who just fired their coach.
They just fired their coach, and they are 5-6. They're like the Gators. They're looking for bowl eligibility. Does anyone think Mississippi State can pull off this upset?
I'll be rooting for Mississippi State.
Me too.
I'll be rooting for you guys. I'll be hitting the cowbell.
Like you're a Rays fan.
Yeah, like the Rays do. But
We totally stole it from them, by the way.
Hey, it works.
It works. Yeah, keep it going, Cowbell Max. But yeah, I think Ole Miss will win. They'll win.
I mean, if you're fighting for a bowl game, you got a little bit of a reason to play. So, if this kid, it's their last shot. They might give it their all.
You guys aren't thinking about one thing. Mississippi State stinks.
Yeah,
Ole Miss
terrible.
is winning this game. They beat Arizona, though. Weirdest game of the season is Mississippi State beating Arizona. It's crazy now that you look at it.
That's SEC. That's the SEC.
Yeah. Mississippi State would be
That's probably the
undefeated champion of the Pac-12 if they played there.
That's probably the best non-conference win for the SEC this year. Outside of Missouri and
Florida's coming up with the best one this weekend.
That would be the best for sure, but I think so. As of now, this year, the biggest SEC non-conference win is Mississippi State over Arizona.
There's a lot of big opportunity for the SEC to kind of get rid of those early season woes this weekend. Big Black Friday, TC Oklahoma. Don't care. Oklahoma's winning that game.
It'd be fun for Black Friday. You also got Jets and Dolphins.
I think
on
that's
Prime.
That's a good call there.
But big American game. We have Tulane and UTSA. They are both undefeated, and whoever wins is going to go to the championship game. 3:30 ABC at Tulane.
I'm watching that.
Dude,
I'm watching
that's a
that
great
for sure.
game, dude.
That's a good game. Hopefully, I'll be USF next year.
Yes.
We'll see them battling for the.
Give me
the
UTSA,
American.
bro. Tulane's been sketchy. I think UTSA is going to win this game.
Dude, I mean, if Frank Thomas is as good as ESPN claims, yeah, give me UTSA in the upset. I bet you is Tulane favored? What's the money line?
Tulane's -3.5.
Oh, yeah.
Because at home.
It'll make the
give me
Bulls look
UTSA in
better.
an upset. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Make the Bulls look a little better.
Missouri's heading into Arkansas. Any Arkansas upset takers? No.
Depends on if how well their offense does. Maybe.
No, I think Missouri wins this one.
Yeah, Missouri's
I think
got it.
Florida was their scary game.
Dude. It's so weird because they beat Florida, then get popped
By Auburn.
by Auburn,
loses.
but then Auburn gets popped by New
I know.
Mexico
all
State.
those results are like, are we serious right now, Florida? You really lost to Arkansas.
But I still think Florida could beat Auburn.
Yeah, and Arkansas if they played any other day. But it's college football, man. You guys have been talking about this game all year, actually. Texas hosts Texas Tech. I know you guys always talk about
Texas
this game.
Tech! Give me Texas Tech! Give me Texas Tech! I'll sell my house for Texas Tech. I'm putting all my money on Texas Tech. They will win this game. They will win. This is the type of game that Texas Tech is built for. They are built for this.
Now that the rubber's hitting the road, I gotta go Texas.
I'm taking Texas, too. If it was at Texas Tech, that would be awesome, but it's at Texas. All right, then we have the Civil War. Friday night, 8:30 on Fox. Oregon hosts Oregon State. Oregon State won last year, a crazy comeback. Oregon's looking for revenge. Give me the Oregon Ducks. Bo Nix, baby.
Yeah, give me Oregon as well. It's going to be a tough game, but I think Oregon has kind of turned it around since that loss to Washington. I think their defense is a lot better than Washington's to where it's not going to be as close. So, yeah, I'd probably take Oregon by 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
I can
Give me those Beavers.
All right,
Give me some
give me
Beaver
Beavers,
Nuggets.
Yes. All right, before we go on, what do you guys think the line is on the Florida State game?
I bet it's
It
really
was 11, and the last time I checked, it dropped down to 6.5.
Yeah, it's 6.5. Minus 6.5
Yeah.
FSU.
It was
So-
11.5 before last Saturday.
Oh, and then
It's dropped.
Jay Travy. All right, we'll talk about it. The game, big noon Saturday. Undefeated Ohio State heads into the big house. Undefeated Michigan. Joel, who do you have?
Big M, man. Michigan, they don't lose.
Yeah, I hate Michigan.
I love Michigan.
I hate
I love
Michigan.
I'll take Michigan
They're like
over
a,
Ohio
they're like
State all day
a
long.
third cousin that I like.
They annoy me so much. I can't stand them. Couldn't stand going to school in Michigan, hearing about them 24/7. You know, oh, they're the worst. I just can't stand
But
that.
how
team
do you
so
feel
much.
about Ohio State?
I hate Ohio State more than Michigan. But I
Yeah,
don't
that's
like
how
either.
that's
of
how
them.
I am.
I just don't hate Ohio State as much as Michigan.
That's fair.
I hate Michigan with a passion. Hail to the victors, though. They will win the game pretty handily. I bet you they blow them out like 45-24 or something. I bet you it's not even close. I really don't think so. I think Ohio State are frauds. Michigan are bigger frauds, but they own Ohio State right now. So
Give me Ohio
Michigan.
State. I think Ohio
Really?
State. Give me Ohio State. I think they're getting looked over
Does
too much.
does Ryan Day get fired if they lose though?
Think he's fired and goes to Texas A&M? I could see him
That
mutually
guy's
parting
so
ways.
ugly. I'm done looking at him.
Ryan Day.
Yeah, he's
He
so
had to
ugly.
grow the beard for sure.
Yeah.
Needed to grow that beard.
Louisville hosts Kentucky. Do we think Louisville takes care of business? I think so. Kentucky just lost to South Carolina.
Yeah, Kentucky fell off. I think Louisville. I mean, you control your own destiny because I know you probably won't get in, but you can definitely tell those boys. You know, you went out. You're 11-1. Like, there's still a chance the committee picks you. And I don't think they will, of course. But
Those other teams could lose, man.
some things could happen. So you're battling for the playoffs. As crazy as it sounds, you could get in the playoffs. So yeah, they're gonna win. They'll handle business.
They're just in the winning mindset, so I think they got it.
Iron Bowl, Auburn. Do they do the funniest thing ever and lose to New Mexico State and then upset Alabama?
You know, honestly, I was thinking about that when they lost. I saw the score and I was like, you know, that might be good that they lost that game because they're going to be so pissed that they're going to come in and give Alabama a game. I don't think it'll be close. Like, I want it to be close. I love that game, but I think Alabama handles them.
I don't ever go against Alabama.
I think
I've learned my lessons.
Alabama wins, but they do not cover. It's 14.5. I think closer game for Auburn.
I would like that. Even if Auburn loses, I want a close game. I
Yeah.
hate when that game's a
I think
blowout.
give me Bama by like 10. Give me Bama by 10.
That
It's
sounds
something.
good,
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing else really crazy. You got the Apple Cup. I think Washington dominates that.
Yeah, well, Washington State, big win against CU.
All right, so Clemson, we need them to take care of business. If you're FSU, I don't care. But Clemson goes into Columbia at South Carolina. It's a night game. It's gonna be rocking. South Carolina won last year. South Carolina is 5-6, looking for a bowl game. Does anyone take a South Carolina upset? I think I might.
They could.
That sounds pretty good.
Wait, it's in South Carolina?
In South Carolina, 7:30.
There's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. I would like. Yeah.
That's a good one.
South Carolina is such a weird team because they could actually play really well and hurt Clemson, but give me Clemson. Give me Clemson. They're riding high right now.
Clemson will be looking for revenge. That does kind of sway me, Clemson, but I think South Carolina might win this one.
I'm going home field advantage. Night game.
I'm an ACC guy.
That's funny.
Give me Clemson.
But yeah, that's about it. So before we leave you, we are going to give you the updated prediction standings. You guys all saw it. It was 50-50, all tied up. How did this week change those standings, Will?
All right, in third place
It's me by
with
so
53 points. Joel,
Oh, I slipped
the
so bad.
reign is over. In second place with 54 is Colby. Second place, so close but no cigar. I'm back on top.
The Gators,
I'm back
man.
on top. 55 points. It's still neck and neck. We're all one game behind each other. So 55-54-53. I'm in the lead. And again, every week it could change.
I missed out on my point for the Lightning record already, so I'm so far behind right now.
You're all right. You need the goal scorer. You need...
One of you guys is gonna get the 1-2 or 2-1, so I'm done.
Yeah, maybe. You're all right. You'll hang around.
I'm hanging around, but I got some work to do.
We got some stuff to predict.
They could go 3-0, and neither of our guys score. They could go 3-0. Neither of our guys score, and whoever you pick.
Yeah,
it was Hedman, right? Yeah.
Come on, Lightning, I need you to go 3-0.
So that could happen.
Joel's never rooted
and
for
we'd
the
like
Lightning to
that
go 3-0. Yeah, Joel's never rooted for the Lightning to go 3-0 so hard.
I stabbed you in the back, but you made up by going 3-0.
But happy Thanksgiving, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Yep. Like we said earlier, follow us on all platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Instagram. Follow on Twitter. And happy Thanksgiving. Have a great time with your family. Watch some football. Watch some college football over the weekend while you're putting up your Christmas decorations. It's always the best, man. That's what I think of when I think of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, enjoy it with your family. Last regular season game, so I got to do the 2023 college football anthem for the outro. Thank you for listening.
Yeah!